You ready to rock? Sergeant at Arms, please call our September 23rd, 2025 meeting to order.
Yes, sir, yes. Pastor of the city of Memphis, hereby call to order for the transaction business to adjourn. All right.
I would like to recognize our chaplain of the day, Apostle Kevin Davidson of Dominion Transformation Center Church, invited by Councilwoman Cooper Sutton. Apostle Davidson, please lead us in prayer.
Thank you for this opportunity. Everybody bow your heads. Father, we thank you most of all for being the God of the present, the God of the past, and the God of the future. Father, we thank you most of all for this great council. We thank you for our mayor. We thank you for a great and amazing city. Keep granting wisdom and knowledge that this city can pull together in peace and in unity. And in Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, you're recognized.
Thank you. No. Apostle, I need you to stand up here with me as I read this. The City of Memphis, Tennessee, by the City Council, greetings. Be it hereby known that Apostle Kevin Davidson is in recognition of a life of exemplary quality, outstanding service to the city, involvement in humanitarian affairs, and demonstrate concern for governmental process has been appointed Chaplain of the Day of the Memphis City Council, and is hereby entitled to all of the honors, rights, privileges, and prerogatives obtaining to the office and to the display of this certificate. Given under this seal, this 23rd day of September, 2025, Chairman J. Ford Canale, presented by Council Member Yolanda Cooper Sutton. Thank you.
Apostle Davidson, thank you for praying with us and over us today.
Good man.
Madam Comptroller, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Councilmember Carlisle, Cooper Sutton, Easter Thomas, Ford, Green, Logan, Smiley Jr., Spinoza, Vice Chair Swearingen Washington, Walker, Warren, White, Chairman Canale. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. I believe Vice Chair Swearingen Washington has read the meeting minutes for our September 9th meeting.
Thank you, Chair. I have reviewed the minutes and find them to be in order. I move for the adoption of the September 9th, 2025 meeting minutes. I'm having trouble electronically, but I so move.
She can't log in. She needs IT over here. No, it wouldn't let her. Smiley, take yourself out.
Okay. Take yours out, Smiley. Okay.
All right, meeting minutes were moved by Madam Vice Chair Swearingen Washington, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen. Members, please cast your votes for the meeting minutes.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Welcome to all of you in attendance and all those listening online to our September 23rd, 2025 regular meeting of the Memphis City Council. Meetings of the council shall be conducted in an orderly manner to ensure the public has full opportunity to be heard and the deliberate process of the council is retained at all times. The Sergeant-at-Arms has meeting agendas available up front, as well as comment request cards for members of the public wishing to be heard on a specific item. All those wishing to speak on an item must turn in their comment card to the Sergeant-at-Arms before the item is called. If you are not here to speak on a specific item, you can note your request to give general comment at the end of the meeting. As chair, I will only recognize citizens that properly register to speak by submitting a completed comment request card to the Sergeant-at-Arms. Members of the audience and persons addressing the council will not be permitted to engage in gossip, make defamatory, personal, slanderous, or profane comments, or use abusive or vulgar language. The chairperson of the council may maintain order by giving any persons who are in violation of the stated rules of decorum a warning to cease any violative conduct, in order to leave the council's chambers, or by giving an order for security personnel to remove any disruptive person in the council's chambers who refuses to leave voluntarily. These rules are posted on the door as you enter the chamber and as you pick up comment cards. An example of an 11 by 17 poster is also posted on the door. Signs larger than the permitted size are prohibited and will be removed from the chamber. All that being said, let's have a good meeting. We have a lot of work to work through today. Item 20 will be held until October 21st, 2025. Item 21 will be held until October 7th, 2025. Item 33 will be held until October 7th, 2025. And item 50 will be held until December 2nd, 2025. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 1.
Item number 1 is a resolution recognizing September as Death Awareness Month. This resolution is sponsored by Councilwoman Cooper Sutton.
Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, you are recognized.
Memphis City Council Resolution. Whereas every September is recognized as National Deaf Awareness Month, a time dedicated to celebrating the deaf and hard of hearing community while raising awareness about their experiences, the challenges they face, and the critical importance of accessibility. And whereas National Deaf Awareness Month is not merely about recognition, but also about action and empowering a community that comprise over 466 million people worldwide, according to the World Health Organization. And whereas significant statistics about the deaf community remind us that many people experience hearing loss, and by raising awareness, we can foster greater understanding and support for their needs. And whereas National Deaf Awareness Month originated in 1958 as an International Day of Deaf, evolving into the International Week of the Deaf in September of 1951, and has since expanded to a full month of recognition and celebration. And whereas it is important to use respectful and empowering terminology when referring to this community. Such terms such as deaf, and hard of hearing, and preferred over hearing impaired. As recommended by the National Association of Deaf, focusing on identify an ability rather than limitation. And whereas the City of Memphis is committed to ensuring accessibility and inclusion for all residents, including those who are deaf or hard of hearing, by actively removing communication barriers and promoting civic engagement for individuals with disabilities. And whereas under the leadership of the City ADA Office and ADA Coordinator, Memphis coordinates communication access services across departments and contracts with 2 local interpretation services providers to ensure America's Sign Language, ASL, interpreting is available upon request at public meetings, programs, and events. Whereas that this Memphis City Council reaffirms its commitment to promoting accessibility, equality, and an inclusion for all individuals. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the Memphis City Council does hereby recognize as National Deaf Awareness Month and encourages all members of the community to engage in educational activities, events to promote awareness and celebration for the deaf and hard of hearing community. Adopted this 23rd day of September of 2025, Councilwoman Yolanda Cooper Sutton, Memphis City Council, Super District 8-3. Thank you. Like some comments. Would you like some comments?
I was just going to say, on behalf of the deaf and hard of hearing community, this means a lot. This is a huge step forward for our community, and I'm very appreciative. Thank you. I know I speak for everyone. Thank you.
Madam Comptroller, please show that approved by acclamation. Colleagues, before we move on to item 2, I do want to recognize some scouts we have in the audience today from Troop 13, Trinity UMC. Scouts, if you would stand for us, let us recognize you. Thank you for joining us here today. Madam Comptroller, would you please call item 2?
Item number 2 is a resolution recognizing and honoring Roselle Creative and Performing Arts Elementary School for its outstanding achievement in becoming a certified national magnet school. This resolution is sponsored by Councilwoman Swearingen Washington.
Madam Vice Chair, you recognize.
Down, Roselle family, the only level 5 performing arts school right here from Memphis, Tennessee. In the heart of District 4, where we get what? We get more. That's right. We are so honored to have Dr. Hines and his wonderful, dedicated, first-class staff. It is a great honor to be able to salute you today. Thank you for coming. Whereas the Memphis City Council delights in honoring schools whose commitment and excellence and creativity and equity brings national recognition and uplifts the spirit of our entire city and community. Roselle Creative and Performing Arts School has a long crown jewel, and it has been in Memphis, weaving the brilliance of the arts into academic achievement, cultivating not only students' minds, but also their gifts, their passions, and their voices. Whereas Roselle Creative Performing Arts School has now reached a pinnacle of distinction, having been named a certified national magnet school, a designation that is reserved for institutions that embody the highest standard of innovation, diversity, and academic rigor. The prestigious honor is a direct reflection of the unwavering dedication of the principal, staff, and supporting staff, the parents, and the students. We feel that excellence is not only taught, but it is lived. Whereas through dance, through music, theater, and all the visual arts, Rozelle Creative Performing Arts School has cultivated generations of scholars and performers, preparing them not only for success in the classroom, but for leadership in the global society. The triumph resonates far beyond the walls of the classroom and affirming that Memphis is a city where public education can flourish, where the arts remain for central development, and where opportunity is extended to children to dream and to achieve. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Memphis City Council proudly celebrates and honors the Rozelle Creative and Performing Arts Elementary School for your extraordinary achievement in becoming a certified national magnet school, and commends its legacy of excellence in nurturing the whole child, academically, artistically, and socially, given by my hand under the great seal of the city of Memphis on this 23rd day of September. Janice Swearingen Washington, Vice Chair of the Memphis City Council, and the entire Memphis City Council. God bless you, and thank you for the work that you do every day. Yes. Come on up here.
Good afternoon, council members, to our council vice chair, Council Swearingen Washington, and distinguished guests, and beloved members of the Memphis community. On behalf of Rozelle Creative and Performing Arts Elementary and Memphis Shelby County Schools, I am deeply honored to accept this recognition as the first national magnet school in Memphis, Tennessee. This moment is not only a celebration of our school's achievement, it is a true testament of the power of the vision that we have for our school and our collective belief in what children can become when nurtured through excellence and creativity. I must acknowledge many hats for helping us achieve this high resolution. Dr. Irvin took the lead in helping us move this work, along with our administrative staff, along with our fine arts department, and along with our optional school department under Dr. Katrina Taylor, whose tireless commitment and strategic guidance has laid the foundation for the national distinction. Their work has elevated Rozelle's magnet program to a level that now serves as a model for schools across the nation. This honor joins a growing list of accolades that reflect the heart and soul of our school community. We also are proud to be named the Tennessee Arts Rich Elementary School of the Year for 2025 that was awarded to us in July. We also was recognized as a model school. Now the nation is watching us in Memphis, Tennessee. And most recently designated as a reward school. Hold up that 5, baby. A level 5 school for student growth. Let each of these achievements speak to the rigor, joy, and intentionality that define our classrooms, our performances, and our relationships. At Rozelle, we believe that the arts are not an accessory, they are a pathway to academic excellence, emotional expression, and cultural pride. Our students dance, sing, paint, and perform with the same passion that they bring to reading, math, and science. And if you don't believe me, go online and watch us. We do it every single day. Our students, teachers, staff, and families work in harmony to ensure that every child is seen, challenged, and celebrated. To the City Council, thank you for honoring our work and for recognizing the transformative power of arts in education. To our community partners, thank you for walking alongside us. And to our students, my babies, this is your moment. You are the reason we strive, the reason we dream, and the reason we rise. Rozelle is not not just a school, it is a movement. And today that movement is being seen, heard, and honored. Thank you so much. All right, team. Let's get a picture. And to our Roselle alumni who serves on the city council, come on down. Come on, stand up, because there's several who wore the Roselle hat in the city council. Come on down.
Madam Comptroller. Show that approved by acclamation. Madam Comptroller, please call item 46 from our add-ons.
Resolution honoring James Ritchie. Item number 46 is a resolution honoring Shelby County Deputy James Ritchie, Patrol Deputy of the Month for July 2025 for exceptional community service, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Chairman Canali.
Chairman Canali, you're recognized.
Thank you, former chair.
The other former chair is to your right as well.
That's right. Whereas the Memphis City Council takes great pride in recognizing individuals who distinguish themselves through exemplary service, courage, and dedication to the safety and well-being of the citizens of Memphis and Shelby County, and whereas Deputy James Ritchie of the Shelby County Sheriff's Office was named Patrol Deputy of the Month for July 2025, an honor presented by Assistant Chief Deputy Derek Mills, Chief Inspector Bennett Morris, Captain Arthur Stewart, and Lieutenant Stacy Lee at the Sheriff's Office substation in Arlington on September 17, 2025, in the presence of his wife, Ebony Ritchie, and his children, Grayson James, Ari J., and Haley Janae. Did I do that right? You did it right. Okay. Whereas this recognition, also highlighted publicly by the Sheriff's Office, honors Deputy Ritchie's exceptional service and community impact since joining the force in August 2024 as a 34-year-old evening shift deputy. Whereas while on patrol in the early morning hours, Deputy Ritchie located a 3-year-old child running alone in the middle of a roadway and acted quickly. He secured the child, canvassed the area, located the parents, ensuring the child's safety. And whereas in a separate incident, Deputy Ritchie responded to assist during a traffic stop of a wanted subject, and when the suspect produced a firearm and pointed it towards another deputy, Deputy Ritchie reacted instantly, grabbing the suspect's arm and forcing the weapon down. And whereas Deputy Ritchie, a 2010 graduate of Millington Central High School, demonstrated both bravery and compassion during 2 critical incidents, preventing potential tragedy, and vigilance in protecting a child, and upholding his duty to protect and serve by preventing the possible shooting of a fellow deputy. And whereas his quick thinking, steady courage, and calm demeanor under pressure are a testament to his training and his commitment to the Sheriff's Office mission of service and protection. And Deputy Ritchie's actions reflect great credit upon himself and the entire department. And whereas Deputy Ritchie's dedication to public service is also a continuation of his family's proud legacy of leadership in Memphis and Shelby County, including his mother, the great Vice Chair Janice Swearingen Washington, his aunt, Circuit Court Clerk Jamita Swearingen, and his grandfather, the Honorable Judge James Earl Swearingen, whose distinguished career in the judiciary stands as a pillar of justice in this community. And whereas Deputy Ritchie's commitment to safeguarding lives and strengthening community trust demonstrates that his service is not only professional, but deeply personal, rooted in a family tradition of integrity, compassion, and public service. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Memphis City Council does hereby honor and commend Deputy James Ritchie for his outstanding service, bravery, and dedication, and recognizes him as the Shelby County Sheriff's Office Patrol Deputy of the Month for July 2025, thanking him for his commitment to the citizens of the Memphis and Shelby County, adopted this 23rd day of 2025 by all of us.
Absolutely.
James, we're so proud of you. But I got to say, I'm not surprised. Knowing the stock that you came from, it's not a surprise at all that you're such a wonderful and caring and giving back young man to this great city that we call home. So, congratulations. Keep up the good work.
I think the
Colleagues, I would like to recognize Chief Deputy Buckner and Sheriff Bonner. One of you like to say a word? Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much, Councilman, and to the entire City Council. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to go speak to our recruit class. These are some young folks who are becoming or trying to become deputy sheriffs. Motivated by the movie The Forge, I asked them this question: are you a fountain or are you a drain? And I've presented this question to them from the mindset of, if you are drained and you join this business only to wear the uniform, or only to earn a salary, or only to earn perks. But if you're a fountain, you pour into this community. You sacrifice your life for this community. And I submit to this body that today, standing behind me, Deputy Ritchie, is a fountain for our community. And we are so proud to have him a part of the Shelby County Sheriff's Office, the best in the business. Thank you so much again, Council.
Good afternoon, City Council. I'm Sheriff Floyd Bonner, and it is indeed an honor and a pleasure to be here with you today, especially when you're honoring one of our own. And when I say one of our own, I only mean that as a Shelby County Deputy Sheriff, because he's one of us here in this community. And we want to thank you for acknowledging him. I know his mom is so proud, and they should be proud. All of us should be proud, because that was a very difficult situation that Officer Ritchie was in one night when we talking about disarming a suspect. And it was an opportunity for him to use his training, use everything that he had been poured into at the training academy, and use those skills that night. So we're so very proud of him. We thank you for recognizing him. I thank him for not having me on the news, but I thank him for using his training, and everything worked out fine. So again, congratulations to him, congratulations to his family, everyone here. I know they're so proud of him, and rightfully so. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to listen to Mama. First of all, thank you all so much, Sheriff Bonner, Chief Deputy Buckner, Chair Allie. I want to call you brother, because you've been such just a mentor to me, mother, my wife, my family, everyone, for being here. I come from a family and come from stock where, service and giving is just, supposed to be second nature. So receiving flowers for it, that's your responsibility. My duty going out, every day on patrol with the, Sheriff's Department, I mean, that's my responsibility to get out here. Now, I won't say there's not situations where we're like, oh my goodness, but at the same time, I hope that this situation allows the understanding how important training is. It takes more than 6 months to be able to do what I did, and I'm not speaking like I'm Superman or I'm Jackie Chan out here snatching weapons out of people's hands and things, but it's important that, understanding like training is every day, every moment, every second. And while I'm being acknowledged, I like to take the moment to also acknowledge my partners that were on scene because, they trusted me, and that trust allowed them to recognize that maybe, I had a chance to make a difference in that situation. So that's important, that trust factor, and having that trust within your partners or your anyone that you're with. So anyway, I'm humble. I'm very humble. I'm very thankful to be recognized, and I hope that this not only inspires or adds to others that are trying to come into this line of work, but also it's great to have that positive light in the direction of law enforcement, and especially, with the sheriff's office. So I wear that badge proudly, and I'll continue to make this department proud, my family proud, my wife and my kids proud, and my brothers and everyone proud. Chief, Sheriff, thank you all.
Let's all take a picture right quick. Take a picture right quick. Everybody get a picture.
Madam Comptroller, can we show that approved by acclamation? If I didn't, I'm sure Councilwoman Swearengin Washington would not talk to me again.
Madam Comptroller, please call item number 34.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 34 is a resolution to urge Governor Bill Lee to reject President Donald Trump's current proposal to send National Guard troops or the Tennessee State Guard to Memphis. This resolution is sponsored by Council members Green, Smiley, Walker, and Warren, and there is a request for same night minutes.
Councilwoman Easter Thomas, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met and recommended that this be sent down tonight with no recommendation, and I so move.
All right, 34 was moved by Easter Thomas, seconded by Smiley. Councilman Smiley, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I just would like to make a request that we start with the comment cards first.
Sergeant Arbs, can you bring me the comment cards for item 34?
I know they're still coming.
Okay. Everyone that comes forward, name and address, you have 2 minutes to speak. First up, it would be Zoe Dondelinger.
Hello, my name is Zoe Dondelinger. I live at 2311 Ridgeland Street, 38119. It is my duty as a citizen of Memphis to speak out against the unjust deployment of the National Guard and other federal terrorist agencies, such as ICE and the FBI, to our home, Memphis, Tennessee. This is a blatant promise to enact violence against our constituents, my friends and neighbors, and my family. It is apparent that this is a show of force by President Trump, and it is a tool to distract people of America of the real issues we face, such as artificially inflated poverty, to induce fear into those with a moral backbone, and to cover up the fact that despite our constitutional rights, a felon, rapist, and pedophile, such as Donald Trump himself, is taking extreme measures to exterminate minorities, people, us, who are guaranteed rights under the Constitution. This is a declaration of war against the city of Memphis. This is a half-baked attempt to replicate the ethnic cleansing and genocide by the state of Israel onto the innocent people of Palestine. Do not stand for military occupation in our streets. They will come for our friends, neighbors, and families. Illegally, they are coming for your constituents. They are coming for you too. Memphis deserves non-discriminatory social welfare programs, such as Housing First programs, not punishment for being victims of artificially inflated poverty and crime by a tyrannical, bloodthirsty president. Try sleeping peacefully when the National Guard shows up at your doorstep armed at 3 a.m. Thank you.
If that continues, I'll recess the meeting. I'm going to be very clear. You will not make any noise. You can give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I made that very clear at the beginning of the meeting. If you choose not to abide by the rules, I'll recess the meeting and I'll have anyone who chooses not to escorted out. Brianna Bird.
Hey, Brianna Bird, 720 Loeb Street. My name is Brianna, and I'm here as a member of the Memphis Mid-South chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America, speaking out against the occupation of our city. First, we have to emphasize that Memphis is already occupied, and it is not making anyone safer. ICE agents are gleefully kidnapping mothers and fathers who risked everything to give their children a better life. Memphis cops are incompetently responding to mental health crises by locking up our neighbors, like Raquez McDaniel, may he rest in peace, and leaving them to die in our disastrously mismanaged county jail. Federal agencies are pouring millions of dollars into military equipment for unaccountable special units like the one that murdered Tyree Nichols. And now, MAGA and the oligarchs have decided that we need even more vicious attacks on Black and brown working class people. We all watch the abuse and intimidation by federal agencies and troops in LA and DC. What kind of leader thinks we need that in Memphis? Our city already spends more on police than it does on maintaining the roads and infrastructure, on the parks and libraries, and on housing and community development combined. That's why we can't get a decent bus system. We can't get potholes filled. We can't get child care for every family. We can't get health care for every sick person. We can't get clean air or clean water, especially in working class neighborhoods. We just get guns on our streets and boots on our necks. It's no accident that the Trump regime, which proudly legalized racial profiling, is coming after Memphis. They want to invade a working class Black city to create a spectacle that thrills their most reactionary supporters. They can't comprehend that crime is way down in Memphis. They want to protect the interests of that right-wing billionaire who our spineless leaders are allowing to poison Black people in the name of economic development. It's all sickeningly simple. Our city leaders must condemn this occupation, but that is only the first step. The people of Memphis need opportunities. The solutions are obvious to anybody who actually spends time with working class Memphians. Fix the buses and streets, give everyone child care and health care, protect our air and water from pollution. Opportunities, not occupation.
Thanks for your comments. Christine Fox.
Thank you.
Christine Fox, 584 East McLemore, 38106. Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to speak before you today. I am a faith leader with Micah, and I'm here to speak in support of the resolution that will urge Governor Lee to reject the deployment of National Guard troops to Memphis. At County Commission yesterday, I heard multiple commissioners say that they have constituents who are afraid to leave their homes, afraid they will become victims of violent crime. I've heard similar sentiments expressed on social media and heard it in conversations. People are tired of the crime problem in Memphis and seem willing to welcome any perceived help we can get. This desire to alleviate a real and painful problem is understandable, but welcoming armed National Guard troops is not the way to do that. Multiple studies have shown that the way to resolve the issue of crime in a meaningful and lasting way is to eradicate poverty. Some of the most serious issues facing our communities are due to a lack of access to resources. These issues are not going to be policed away. They will only be resolved by investment in our communities. To people like Mayor Young, who believe that National Guard and other federal forces will operate benevolently here in Memphis, I urge you to remember our nation's history, remember Kent State and Jackson State. I urge you to be mindful of the signs we see every day that the United States is becoming an authoritarian state. We are in a historic time of testing as a nation and as a community. We are being asked to normalize violence and wanton cruelty. We are being asked to look the other way while people that this administration deems less than are stripped of human dignity and their personal freedoms violated. Counselors, please hear the voices of your constituents and community members who are calling for real and tangible investment in our families, our friends, and our neighborhoods. We need you to have the courage to stand up for Memphis. We need you to hear us when we tell you that what we need is poverty eradication, not military occupation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fox. D. Clark.
Hello, my name is Don Clark. I stay at 500 South Jefferson Place in 38105 zip code. I have 3 reasons we must urge Governor Bill Lee to reject the deployment of the National Guard in Memphis, Tennessee. First off, our crime levels have been at historic lows for over 2 decades. The local news focuses on crime heavily, and as such, it tends to reframe our city into being entirely focused on crime itself. We must look at the data, not at what just comes on the TV, because only through actual research will we understand where the problem lies. Secondly, the National Guard does not directly answer to the people of this city, whether civilian, police, or elected official. They answer directly to the governor and President Donald J. Trump. And it's already unlawful for President Donald J. Trump to send them here without consent from Governor Bill Lee. Thirdly, your responsibility as elected representatives of the city of Memphis is directly to the population of the city of Memphis, not directly to the state of Tennessee, not directly to the United States government, not even directly to President Donald J. Trump. I implore you to listen to constituent voters who elected you to the seats you reside in today, first and foremost.
that it is hard to vote when you do not have a permanent address, but I vote for my homeless neighbors. And I encourage you to be brave and act on behalf of the least of these two. Keep all federal agents out of Memphis, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Sam Davis.
Afternoon, Council. My name is Sean. I reside on 2116 Micklemore East, and I am a new veteran. I was in Fort Stewart for a long time, and I know a thing or two about the military, and having the National Guard here would be one of the biggest mistakes. These are unprofessional and untrained people that are not as diligent as you would think, that will be coming in the streets to spread fear to many people that are already afraid of the circumstances that are here. And our governor, who decided to say that he may wanted to have more influence and everything, it's just not safe. It's not good. You don't need people with automatic assault rifles coming down here and trying to play the role of the police. These people have their own agendas. These people have their own things. And who's to know if they're going to listen to any of you, let alone you praise the Memphis Police Department, and they will be useless if they have all this come up. Instead of that, we could have a plethora of resources allocated to our education. We are 31 in education right now. We could have plenty more allocated to that. We are 41 in healthcare. We should have more on that. We are 34 in environment. You know, all these things that could help people. And instead of doing that, we have them building AI centers that are destroying the community. None of this seems to help anything. And this just seems to be a big ploy to install fear into everyday Americans. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your comments. Callahan Caswell.
Good evening, council members. I'd like to start off with a list. The Mid-South Food Bank Choices Clinic, which supplies birth control.
Name and address for the record, please.
What'd you say? My apologies. Callahan Caswell, and my address is Mecklemore Street, East 2116. And am I free to start? Thank you. My apologies. Good evening, council members. I'd like to start off with a quick list. The Mid-South Food Bank Choices Clinic, which supplies birth control, birthing centers, prenatal care, free birth control to those in need, and more. Public libraries, school programs, public transport, job court, housing, job opportunities, internships, apprenticeships, accounting, mentorships for the youth, which is under the Job Corps opportunities, SNAP food benefits, Tennessee emergency food stamps, weather alerts and local weather stations, FAFSA, early childhood literacy programs, and more. This is an incomplete list of crucial funded programs that positively impact Memphis and Memphians, but are either being defunded or at threat. Though we still do have some programs, and some very good ones at that, very few of those opportunities are well advertised. Instead of looking at complicated systemic issues and the failures of the systems around us, we blame it on the individual. We look at people who commit crime and feel like they have no other choice and view them as evil. And this view on Memphis is appalling. I sat with my friends this morning who grew up in Memphis, young adults with stable jobs, no children, achieving higher education, but yet they talk about needing food stamps and not having dental care. They're doing everything right, but the system is still failing them. They do not have the privilege of family with money like so many of us do. I come to y'all as someone who grew up well-funded in a comfortable town in Collierville. I lived in Inner Memphis for a very short period of time, and I feel it is appalling to look upon these deep and complicated issues as anything more than the failure of the systems in Memphis.
Please wrap up your comments. Thank you for your comments. Fatima Hashmi.
My name is Fatima Hashmi. I'm a constituent. I go to Rhodes College. I'm from the 38138 zip code. And I'm here to speak out against the deployment of the National Guard. The deployment of the National Guard as a means of control and terror, a move that is not only against the very principle of democracy that this country is supposed to be built on, but is an active threat to the people. It will never and can never be a replacement to funding things that would actually help our community, whether that is for those who are being mass incarcerated right now in an overflooding prison, or for those who have been affected by crime. Memphis has the highest crime rate in all of the United States, but that will never be an excuse for this country to take over itself. I urge all of you to stand up against the occupation of you and in your constituent city. The National Guard and ICE are fascism painted over with fascism, not covered up under the guise of democracy, but fascism layered under more fascism. Clear and true. This meeting is the final, yet not feeble, defense we have, the final chance we have to take a stand against this, and I urge you to make it count. You have seen how many people are speaking out against this, and if you do not act, perhaps you are not representing us fairly, you are not hearing our voices when we have tried to speak, and we will be disappointed if these people come and take over the city that we share. We try to achieve a better, we work hard as students to make sure that positive change is being enacted, and when it isn't, we take a stand. And this is one of those instances where I feel on many levels that if our voices are not heard, if the National Guard comes in, we will not be afraid, perhaps we will not even be angry anymore, perhaps we will just be disappointed.
Thank you for your comments. Mitchell Leander.
Hi, hello. My name is Mitchell Leander. I live at 2175 Poplar in Memphis. I don't know about you, but I feel anxious. I feel anxious even as a white man who goes to a private school about what happens when we leave that campus. I feel anxious about the fact that none of this is new information. Person after person after person has gotten up here, talked to you guys about the risks, told you about what's gonna happen to our jails, what's gonna happen at 201. I'm anxious about the fact that we've been talking about that overcrowding for months now. Not months, years. I'm anxious about the fact that when there's violence, we pretend like bringing in more violence is gonna solve that. I'm anxious about the fact that, Council, as we sit with you here today, when none of this is new, why do we not have the leadership to respond? Why do we not have the leadership to respond to a threat that's outside of Memphis? I hear all the time, Memphis is different than the rest of Tennessee. It's its own thing. It's its own culture. When are we going to put that in our leadership? When are we going to bring that into our city? Memphis, I feel anxious when the dream that I have for Memphis, a Memphis that takes care of itself, a Memphis that protects itself, a Memphis that believes in its people, its citizens, its constituents. I feel anxious when I don't see that here, when I don't see that anywhere in the city. I feel anxious when we have the solutions, when we've offered them, and still we pretend this is about violence, when still we pretend like this isn't about the looming fascism that has already trampled through. I feel anxious when we're still pretending. I would urge and ask you that for every student, every constituent, every citizen, every neighbor, that you speak for them, even if it's not for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Josh Adams.
Josh Adams, Decarceration Memphis, 1000 South Cooper Street. Imagine first a small timeline and a small map. 2016, Shelby County Sheriff Department did high saturation traffic patrols at the corner of Shelby Drive and Elvis Presley, right by my house. My mother was terrified. My grandmother was terrified. I thought my elected officials would save us from what was essentially plantation policing because my mother and grandmother told me not to leave the house unless I had to go to work. Fast forward to 2020 or 2025, is it now? After crime has increased for over 10 years, we still praise high intensity traffic enforcement. Imagine now a bigger timeline and a bigger map. In El Salvador, Chile, Nicaragua, Venezuela, the U.S. government destabilized democratic elections, as Tennessee is doing here. They set up military operations and use repressive, violent forces to crush leftist movements, bodies piled up. It's the serious stuff we're talking about. Some people have called you spineless. I hope that history records you as heroes. And the thing that I'm wondering today is that I know movement will win, but I don't know which side of the movement my elected officials are going to be on.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Sandra Pita.
Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. Mi nombre es Sandra Pita. My name is Sandra Pita. And I come to you today as a mother, community leader, and proud resident of this city.
Ms. Pita, will you give us your address, please?
My address is 3969 Kingsbury.
Thank you.
When I arrived this afternoon, I have to admit, I felt a little bit intimidated. But I am here because someone from our community must be present, and today that voice is mine, is me. I am the mother of 6 children. One has graduated from college, and one is at the University of Memphis, and another at UT Knoxville. And my other 3 are still in public schools. Como madre y trayendo también las voces de otras madres latinas en nuestra comunidad, quiero expresar nuestra profunda preocupación por la posible llegada de la Guardia Nacional y otras agencias federales a nuestras calles. As a mother, and as a voice for many other Latinas mothers in our community, I want to express our deep concern about the possible arrival of the National Guard and other federal agencies in our neighborhoods. We ask ourselves, what are we supposed to tell our children when they see armed soldiers near their schools? Nearly 20% of the population is Memphis is Latino in the schools. Many students already face barriers, and now this situation can increase fear and distrust, affecting their engagement at school and the well-being of their families. There's a real fear of never seeing their parents again if something were to happen. This situation does not strengthen our communities. On the contrary, it creates more division, fear, and mistrust. I serve as a PTO president at a local school, and I know the real change takes time, continue, and commitment to build on what others have left behind. My message today is clear. We want safety, yes, but we also want dignity, respect, and peace for our family. Investing in our community and education and social support and opportunity is the best way to build stronger and more united Memphis. What resources and funding will you allocate to students who will be too scared to go to school? I serve as a PTO president at 2 local schools, and I know that real change takes time. Gracias por su atención y por escuchar nuestras voces. Thank you for your time and for listening to our voices.
Thank you, Ms. Pita. Please, thumbs up or thumbs down. Jesse Claudio.
Good evening, Council. My name is Jesse Claudio. I stay at 3787 Donna, North Memphis. I want to take this moment to implore you guys the severity of what's going on. As some of us are multitasking, having side conversations, sipping on our drinks and snacking on our snacks, I want you guys to know that there is a real problem going on right now in your city with our community. As someone who has to live day by day, not knowing whether I'm gonna see a family member, some of us forget that it was only a couple hundred years that they were tearing Black families, okay? Separating kids from their mothers and children. This is going exactly right now in Memphis, Tennessee. The National Guard coming here is only going to intensify that feeling. Keep in mind the earlier two conversations that were just had. One was acknowledging a school success, right? We want that in our city. However, the National Guard is going to have an impact on our students. A lot of, not just Latino parents, a lot of immigrant parents are not going to feel safe taking their kids to school. That's going to affect attendance. That's going to affect how we show up. Also, our businesses, right? We pride in Memphis and the grit and grind, forgetting that oftentimes a lot of these positions that are done from house cleaning, from maintenance, from construction, are heavily reliant on immigrant workers that are gonna have intensified anxiety, depression, and fear with the presence of the National Guard. I implore you guys to please think about the people. If you guys really care about us, if you guys are really here to protect our community, this is the time for you guys to stand up and to show not just Tennessee, but the rest of the world, what Memphis is really about. Please, you guys, think about what you're about to do and think about those families that are already impacted, that are already experiencing this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Claudio. Justin Pearson.
Representative Justin J. Pearson, 425 John Lewis Way, North, Suite 572. I'm here to ask that you support the resolution to reject the National Guard coming to Memphis. This is nothing more than authoritarianism and a wannabe dictator, Donald Trump, dictating to a governor who has refused to provide the resources that our community has needed for nearly 8 years to come into our community and tell us how we should operate, how we should govern, and what we should do. The reality is, even while serving in the General Assembly, I have put requests for billions of dollars of investment up, and the governor has refused to do it. You cannot have a conversation about crime without talking about poverty. And our city is one of the most impoverished places in the state of Tennessee and across this country. It is despicable that military occupation has been the only resolution provided by this governor when what we've needed is poverty eradication. And so if something needs to be done, it is first to demand that the National Guard not come here. And second, it is to recognize that the issues that people have as it relates to crime, as it relates to the challenges of our community are real. I got expelled fighting to end gun violence. We need to pass gun safety laws. We know that poverty is an issue. We need our budgets to reflect the morality of budgets and make sure we do everything we can to eradicate poverty. And instead of negotiating with Governor Bill Lee about how the National Guard shows up, is to demand that we get billions of dollars in resources to Memphis and Shelby County so we have youth programs, health care, and housing for every single person in our city. There's a way that we have to speak in this moment and in this time in a united fashion, believing that our community does deserve opportunity and not occupation. We don't need to be another pawn in this authoritarian and wannabe dictator scheme. We need to stand up as a city. We need to stand up with a united voice saying, if you want to help us, give us the resources, give us the money. We don't need military occupation. We need poverty eradication.
Thank you, Representative Pearson. Tequila Rucker.
Good evening, Tequila Rucker, 1000 South Cooper Street. Frida 901, please stand with me. Memphis is the incubator where the experiments are being tested and where the playbook for rolling back our rights is being written. This is the black print, not the blueprint. What's at stake isn't policy alone. It's an attack aimed to erase Black presence, power, and voice from the civic life of this nation. We are not talking about abstract politics. We are talking about people, families, schools, and dignity of the whole neighborhood. When a city becomes the laboratory for authoritarian tactics, the rest of the country watches, it learns, and it copies. This is why our response here must be fierce and visible. History shows us that the makings of martial law often begins with tactics like this: the slow normalization of military-style forces, police and civilian life, stepped-up deployments that blur the lines between emergency aid and occupation, and the erosion of ordinary civic protection. That pattern has precedent, and it is precisely why we cannot allow Memphis to become the first city where martial law becomes a reality. Passing a resolution opposing the National Guard deployment to Memphis is more than a policy statement. It is a moral line in the sand. It tells our neighbors that we are not alone and they aren't either. It tells our children that their city leaders will defend them. It tells the state, the nation, and everyone that's watching that we will not accept experiments that treat our communities as test subjects to be policed, controlled, and erased. The deployment of the military-style forces on our streets raises real immediate risk to our civil liberties and the democratic norms. We resist not because we are naive about power, but because we know power must be met with power, rooted in care, solidarity, and collective courage. As Fannie Lou Hamer put it, nobody's free until everybody's free. Councilman, we ask you to stand with us, even if this does not prevent them from coming. It shows your people that you're willing to show up and stand for them the same way they showed up and voted for you. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Rejo Abel, sorry if I mispronounced it.
Good afternoon, council members and fellow neighbors. I was coming in, my name is Rigo Abel, I'm 22 years old. I live on 974 Homer Street.
Thank you, sir.
I came into this room with the expectation that if the National Guard were to come into here, into my city, into my neighborhood, that they would provide some form of relief, and not just relief in the sense that it would lower the crimes or prevent crimes from happening, but lower the crime, or to lower the fear of the people that frankly sit behind me, and in fact the fear that I have within myself today. After hearing the people that have spoke at this podium, I want to say that absolutely they should not come here to terrorize. They should not come here to do more harm than the harm that's already here. But if they were to come, that please to just come with pure intentions of assistance, but as I'm hearing that most likely is not the case. I'm a victim of crime, and I probably am going to be another victim of crime in the future because of the city that I live in. And truthfully, being at this microphone, I'm afraid. I do believe that more funding and more attention and more seriousness needs to be brought to issues that relate to crime, such as our poverty, such as our school funding. And I just want to say that if anybody out there believes that there is a future for us, it may not be in the form of the National Guard coming into our city. And I want to say that there is a future. I may not exactly know what that is. I may not exactly have the answer for that, but I want to say that I am afraid. I'm sure that there are other people that are afraid. And please do what is needed to acknowledge that. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. All right, these next 19 cards do not have an agenda item. Some of them say general comment. So if I call your name and you do not wish to speak on item 34, just let me know. Samara Solomon. Lisa Peterson? Okay. Denise Ewell? Okay. Cameron Stevens? Okay. Claire Butner? Name and address, please. 2 minutes.
Hi, my name is Claire Bittner, and I believe I live in Miss Green's district. I live on 1621 Hunters Bluff Drive. I'm here to speak against the National Guard being here. I'm going to start this off by saying today is a religious holiday for me, and instead of celebrating, I am out here because I am really terrified of what Donald Trump is trying to do to our city. There's already been, I mean, listen, Memphis is not any more dangerous than any other metropolitan city in the United States, like Atlanta or New York City for that matter. So I don't know why we have to have a National Guard. I know somebody mentioned that crime rates have been pretty low for a couple decades. This is basically just an excuse for Donald Trump, who is a dictator, to control our city, to oppress people of color, to oppress poor people. But as Justin Pearson said, why don't we address the poverty situation first? I really don't understand that. That's my comment.
Thank you for your comments. Alexis Agnew? Are you speaking on 34, Alexis? Yes. Okay.
Hello, hello, everybody. Glad to see you're all here. Let me fix that real quick. I'm Alexis Agnew, 4321 Elaine. Love this. This makes me so excited. I am speaking, yes. I'm hoping that you guys will pass the resolution to reject the National Guard coming here. There's a couple reasons why. There's a practical reason, right? As everyone is saying, we don't need them, right? Like there's a number of things we need to keep the city safe and to help our homeless, help our poor, help me. I mean, I could use some help too. There's any number of things we need. One of them is not the National Guard. We saw in LA, they didn't actually help. They were kind of a waste of taxpayer dollars. In Chicago, they were, because of J.B. Pritzker, because of the mayor standing up, they didn't actually get to come. And that's what I want to see here today from all of you guys. I have a sneaking suspicion that you guys are all with us on that. And I'm really, really excited. And I hope that everyone will join us citizens in voting to pass the resolution to reject or at least disapprove of the National Guard coming. Obviously, the governor's made his decision, so there's not much that we can do in terms of actual stopping it, but we can disapprove. And just like you guys are here because of us, they are here because of all of us. Trump is here because of all of us. And if nothing else, what I would like to see, everyone can't clap, but we can do this. What I would like to see is a united front against this level of fascism, against this level of oppression, with the understanding that it does not stop here. You guys have to know this. Do not obey in advance. I can't repeat that enough. Do not obey in advance. By giving the oppressor tiny bits, little by little, you're obeying in advance. Please don't do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Agnew. Wade Boswell. Christopher Glasgow. Nicolas Nibley. Tom Smith.
Tom Smith, 1456 Carr Avenue. I was originally for general comment, but I see these things as deeply interrelated, so I'm happy to speak here on item 34. My name is Tom Smith. I'm a proud Memphian, proud father, husband, and trade unionist. I'm here because I see a direction being forced upon our community, and I feel compelled to speak out publicly against it. I see a mayor who has had our city go on record in court filings to invalidate the MOAs between the city and its workers through their unions.
Mr. Smith.
I'm speaking on this, yes, sir, and I have my 2 minutes. Please don't take that time.
No, but this is only for item 34. If you want to speak on anything union related, you can speak general comment at the end of the meeting.
Sir, people have spoken on a wide variety of issues. I don't appreciate my speech being dictated by you, if that's possible. I'm speaking on item 34. This is interrelated. Every time we see wannabe authoritarians take away our rights, the first group they start attacking are trade unions. This is not unrelated. It is one and the same. We have a mayor that goes on record to invalidate our MOAs, and is the same mayor who cozies up to billionaires like Elon Musk, who poisons our community and does nothing, utterly fails when the wannabe dictator of this country tries to send military personnel, be them National Guard or otherwise, here. It is one and the same issue. The mayor has utterly failed. He should resign. I hope you all will do better than him. But this is interrelated. When they come for our rights, they come for all of our rights. That is why they are sending these here. It is not in any way unrelated, and I don't appreciate the interruption. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. William Foner. Kyrie Macklin. No. Dr. Georgia Session. Okay. Janetta Williams. Thank you. LaMichael Wilson. Okay. Heather Essel. Okay. Emmeline Rogers. All right. Sarah Freeman. Sorry, I didn't see the
Sarah Wilkerson Freeman, 7684 Appahon Lane, Germantown, 38138. I like to say I sleep in Germantown, but I live in Memphis. Memphis is an amazing city. I have a son, a daughter-in-law, and a little grandbaby in Memphis. I love this town. I'm also a college history professor, so put a target on my back. I'm also the member of a Gold Star family. My brother was killed as a 19-year-old Marine in Vietnam. So I love and I appreciate the military. Every time I see a young person in uniform, I kind of want to cry. What we are about to do is to expect, especially young men and women from all over the state of Tennessee, including more than likely from Shelby County, perhaps Memphis, to put on those super hot uniforms, put on their arms, and walk the streets of Memphis in perhaps 90-degree heat. There is something about a president who managed to repeatedly avoid service in the military during Vietnam when my brother was killed that tells me that this is about something else besides any kind of valid use of military power. This is a show. We've used the word dictatorship, fascism, authoritarianism. My stepfather fought in all arenas, all theaters of World War II. He would be turning over in his grave if he saw what was going on right now in this country. All we are asking to do, and we are your people, and in fact, these are our troops, not Governor Lee's, not President Trump's. These are our troops who are supposed to help us when we have real emergencies, according to the law. If we have a storm, God forbid an earthquake, we will want and need our young men and women in uniform to help us, because that is what they are truly for. They are not for coming in and trying to make us afraid. We aren't stupid. That is the whole point, is to put a chill in the air to prevent us from speaking and marching. But this is Memphis. I have two closing words. Kent State. If you want Memphis to be in the headlines,
thank you, Ms. Freeman.
Let this happen.
All right, that concludes our public comment. Councilman Smiley, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. last year I would end, every meeting I would tell the people of Memphis that government works best when we have there's someone waving we have active, oh, there's cars. Okay, do we have any cars, Cedric? That general comments on it. Okay. All right, so last year I would tell, in every council meeting, I would tell people government works best when we have active participation for the government. So first I just want to thank you for being present in this moment. And I was trying to jot down some notes from everything that people were saying and took down a lot of different things. There's a lot of reasons I think this body should be voting for. We can talk, from a very logical perspective. Jail overcrowding. We could talk about the fact that marginalized people could potentially be subjected to extremely harsh treatment. We can talk about the folks with busted tail lights, the folks with, drive-out tax, the people who are living in poverty will ultimately end up in a federal system that should be meant for violent criminals, not people who are just living in poverty, just trying to make their ends meet. But I don't really think I'm voting for just because of that. I just, for me, I just get back to, now who do I represent? I don't represent Donald Trump. I'm not here to represent billionaires. I'm here, it's the same reason I left a corporate law firm in Little Rock, moved back to Memphis, because I wanted to represent people. I think that's the question before the council. The question before this body is, who do you represent? You see people decide to not take stances when they feel like the issue is a difficult issue to decide on. They like to abstain, they like to walk out. But at some point in the city of Memphis, we're going to stop electing weak leaders. I believe that. At some point in the city of Memphis, we're going to put people before profit. At some point in the city of Memphis, we're going to decide that our communities matter. There's several people here today, but these people represent about 50 organizations. I was trying to debate on how it would, appeal to people of faith. And, a lot of you all represent Micah. Micah 6:8 says, "And what does the Lord require of you? To do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." But then, for the intellects, let's think about what justice means. Justice fundamentally means fairness, impartiality, and giving people their due, encompassing the ethical concept of righteousness, equitable treatment in the law and society. It involves the impartial application of rules and procedures to resolve conflicts, assign deserved punishments or rewards, and ensure that all individuals, particularly the marginalized, receive equitable distribution of resources and opportunities. If you listen to what the people have been saying today, they understand our community has challenges. They understand that we may not be a perfect community, but we're a community with limited resources trying to make ends meet. Council, we've been in this position before. Last year, we fought to put a gun referendum on the ballot. We were told that we couldn't do it, but the people stood up. This council made the right decision to push back against a governor who doesn't care about our community, made the right decision to file a lawsuit to put the gun referendum on the ballot. My question for this body is, will you fold or will you lead? Usually, I pride myself on being able to kind of know where the vote's going to land. I'm not going to do that today. I just hope the people showing up and tell you that this is an issue they're concerned about is enough. And with that, I know where I stand. And like every single time, I'm going to stand with the people. I'll be voting yes in support of this resolution. I encourage my colleagues to do the same.
Thank you, Councilman Smiley. Councilwoman Green, followed by Councilwoman Cooper-Sutton.
Thank you, Chair. First, I want to thank everybody who came out today to participate in our democracy. Our democracy functions best when people are active participants in it, and so I know that it is a hurdle. I'm sure there are other people who feel the way you feel, but they couldn't make it out tonight. So I just want to start by saying thank you. I know that there may be people or sentiment out there that already feel defeated, right? You will hear our mayor say the troops are coming. So we need to figure out what's the next step, why bother? Let me say this. There's a famous quote that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. And as a lawyer, a recovering lawyer, I really take the rule of law seriously. And I take the rights in our Constitution seriously. I'm here today, even though we may be ignored by Governor Lee and Senator Blackburn and Haggerty and President Trump, because I'm not going to be one of those good people who does nothing. Freedom is worth defending, even when the odds are against us, especially when they're against us. At least that's what I learned when I was in school about our founding fathers and why they actually started this great nation. I believe in our country. I believe in our democracy. I believe in our city. And I think the true measure of our democracy isn't how we act when it's easy, but how we act when it's hard. This is hard. This is hard on our city. It's not going to stop being hard today. I know, as you have all said here today, the troops are not the answer to our problem with crime. We know what the answer is. That's why we're at a 25-year low. We deserve not a military presence. We need trust, we need investment, and we need leadership that actually listens. I'm going to vote yes because I believe the citizens of Memphis deserve opportunity, not occupation. And I encourage my colleagues to do the same.
Thank you, Councilwoman Green. Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, you're recognized, followed by Councilwoman Walker.
Thank you, Chairman. A couple months ago, Patel said something on the news that this city was the most dangerous city in America. And not one politician, not one elected official, not one rebuttal, not one comment, not one person came down here and said one thing. What we're not going to do, I believe, and I know with every ounce of that's in me, that all 13 of my colleagues that's sitting up here that are here and that are not present today, we do not want the National Guards here. I clearly understand that. But what we're not going to do, and what I'm not going to sit here and do, is let anyone, whether you my colleague or not, gaslight the people and play with our emotions. We had enough time. On August 22nd, I made a video pleading and begging. Say something, somebody. Do something. Go to Governor Lee. Say something to him. Write a petition. And not one single word. And now, now we want to say something. Now we want to grandstand. And now we want to play on the people's emotions. What plan do we have in place? Because we know it's going to happen. What we need to be doing is rebranding our name. What we need to be doing, trying to figure out how we're going to help our senior citizens just in case they make the wrong turn. Because this resolution ain't even worth the piece of paper it's on. Every time I look up, it's different organizations and different people making different press conferences because everybody want to be seen here in Memphis. What you gonna do But you want to go and raise tag taxes on the poor people. We can't even afford the tags that we got now. It's a struggle for me. So don't come up here telling me about grandstanding for the people. Because we have an opportunity to do that way, way back on this side and on the other side. I've been in this seat 1 year, 9 months, and 23 days. And my fight has always been for the people. But what I'm not going to do is put your lives in danger and mine, because we're dealing with people who don't really care about us. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, because I've had 1 million calls. I'm voting no on this bull crap, because what you're not going to do is grandstand and make a fool out the people and keep making a fool out the people. And when they walk out this door, it's going to be the same thing. I yield the floor.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Walker, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is a portion and an edited portion of my comments from our press conference last Thursday, and it's not that long, Mr. Chair. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and I appreciate you all coming out today. I don't think that we need the National Guard. We need investment, opportunity, and respect for the work that is already being done by our citizens, our community leaders, and our small businesses. I serve as council liaison to the Aging Commission, and I know firsthand that Memphis has the 3rd hungriest senior population in the country. At one school in my district, they have a food pantry that sends a bag of food home with the students on Friday to help to ensure that they eat over the weekend. That is where our energy should be focused, not military presence in our streets. Our community already has pastors, neighborhood associations, and leaders doing the work. What we have is a communication gap. Too often, people don't know where, if, and where available help is and how to access it. Instead of troops, how about better communication and stronger support for what is really happening? I'm especially concerned about the economic impact. When people feel unsafe, they stay at home. I don't want the restaurants to suffer, the restaurants, the nightlife, the small businesses. I don't want them to suffer and then possibly not be able to recoup the losses once the National Guard has left. And God forbid they go to DeSoto County because they feel safer there. So finally, I just say, let's invest in people, not troops. Put resources in food security, jobs, and education. Support small businesses. Continue to spend your dollars locally. Whitehaven alone spends $33 million annually in DeSoto County. Close the communication gap. Share information, amplify resources, and make sure every Memphian knows where to get help. Together, we can keep our city safe, strong, and moving forward without becoming a military zone. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I yield the floor.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Madam Comptroller, seeing no other members in the queue, please prepare the vote for item 34. Councilwoman White.
What happened here?
You're recognized.
What's going on here? Are we casting our votes? Are we able to?
Hold the screen for a second. Councilwoman White has a question.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, you take us back to the voting screen, please.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I wanted to have him answer a question. Legal counsel, I apologize.
All right, hold the screen, please.
Do you want me to ask you? Oh, I'm sorry, thank you, Chair. To our legal counsel, what effect, if any, would this resolution have if passed?
None. It's a request to the governor. It's up to him. You're asking him to make a decision.
What about the request in terms of any legal proceeding at this point? Where do we stand constitutionally?
I mean, I think it depends on how they deploy the troops, but I think it's constitutional. But once they do so, they have to act constitutionally, and we don't know. I mean, that's speculative at this point, so I don't think you could file a lawsuit on something that may or may not happen.
If I can briefly,
Thank you.
If I can briefly just say one thing, as it relates to what this resolution does, we pass a series of resolutions a lot of times. I think the most important thing that we're hearing from the people who are here and the people that I talk to daily is they want the council to speak. We speak by resolution, we speak by ordinance. We have the power of the pen. I think the most important thing for us to do is to echo the sentiments of the people who elected us. And that's all I'm trying to do today.
Chair, can I say one thing to?
All right, we called the question on this, and we had the voting screen up twice, so let's please make it brief.
I just wanted to answer Councilwoman White's question as it relates in the resolution around legal counsel. That is not, we're going to file a lawsuit right now. That is exactly as Attorney Wade said. If they act unconstitutionally, this gives us the power to be able to file lawsuits. So that is still out there and active and live if it happens. That's why this resolution's here. Thank you, Chair.
All right, back to the voting screen for item 34, please. Members, please cast your votes.
Cooper Sutton, no. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, no. Green, yes. Logan, no. Smiley, yes. Swearingen Washington abstained. Walker, yes. White, abstained. Chairman Canali, no.
That item fails. Madam Comptroller, please take us to item 3.
Item number 3 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 9.6 of the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code, approving a planned development at the subject property located at 3806 Poplar Avenue. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. The case number is PD 25-03.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Hold on. There it is. Thank you, Chair. The Department of Planning and Development and Land Use Control Board recommended approval with conditions. This item was sent down with a favorable recommendation at the September 9th Planning and Zone Committee, and I so move. Something is going on with my screen, but I do move.
Security, if you please not hold those doors open, we still have business to conduct. All right, colleagues, the item was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Green. Does anyone wish to hear from DPD or the applicant? All right, very good. Madam Comptroller, please prepare the voting screen for item 3.
Item number 3, Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Please show Councilmember Logan as voting yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 4.
Item number 4 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 9.6 of the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code, approving a planned development at the subject property located at 3156 Covington Pike. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. The case number is PD 25-09.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The Department of Planning and Development and Land Use Control Board recommended approval with condition. This item was sent down with a favorable recommendation at the September 9th meeting. The applicant has requested same night minutes, and I so move.
Is your screen working?
My screen is frozen.
All right. Item was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Green. Colleagues, anyone want to hear from DPD or the applicant? And there is a request for same night minutes on this item. All right. Members, please cast your votes for item 4.
Item number 4, Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Chairman Canale, yes. And also please show Councilmember White as voting yes on item number 4.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 5.
Item number 5 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 9.6 of the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code, approving a special use permit at the subject property located at 1507 Airways Boulevard. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. The case number is SUP 25-18.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. For item number 5, the Department of Planning and Development and the Land Use Control Board recommended rejection. This item was sent down with a favorable recommendation at the September 9th meeting. The applicant would like to request changes with conditions, and I so move.
All right. Item 5 was moved by Swearingen Washington. Need a second? Seconded by Green. Mr. Bacchus, would you like to speak on this item? Actually, you want to speak first? Mr. Ragsdale, I'll let you speak first.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brett Ragsdale with DPD. We have been working with the applicant on a few changes they would like to request, and I've shown those on the screen here to the conditions. The first is they would like to strike the prohibition of used tire sales, and so that is the first request. And then on condition number 9 about a photometric plan being required, we added the words if required. And then the 2 new ones, there is a shipping container on site that was shown on the site plan. It wasn't specifically called out, so we just wanted to be clear about that, one 8-foot by 20-foot shipping container shall be allowed for storage. And then on number 11, the applicant asked us if they could have some time to make all of the site improvements. So we worked with them to come up with the language that you see here, and I'll read that into the record. A certificate of occupancy may be issued prior to completing all site improvements. The applicant shall show progress of completing the improvements every 6 months to the satisfaction of the Division of Planning and Development. All improvements must be completed within 2 years from the date of approval, or the special use permit is null and void. And those are the changes they're asking to change.
I see that you struck used tire sales are prohibited.
That's correct. They would like to request that of this body. So
You want to be able to sell used tires? All right. Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. I did meet with the applicant and I met with the representative, and we did decide that he could do used tire sales. He is going to do a storage container, and the storage container is going to be behind the building in a fenced area. So we did come to a consensus. So I do support him, and I did see the renderings of it, and it seems like it will be very representative of our community. So I'm excited about this business coming. They know I don't like tire sales, but the way you all have presented it, I am willing to support it.
Mr. Bacchus, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. Brian Bacchus, 5320 White Diamond Street, Memphis, 38109. Thank you for the amendment and working with, thank you, Brett, as well. We're here to try and help this gentleman to start his own small business for motor vehicle sales and service. Used tire sales is only a small portion, and I repeat, used tire sales is only a small portion of his business. He's requesting motor vehicle sales and service with accessory uses like parking, storage, outdoor storage for vehicles that's within the zoning code. That's all we're asking here today. His principal use is motor vehicle sales and service. The used tire sales is ancillary to his principal use. And we provided a site plan to show you how we're going to beautify the site, as well as make some changes to the site plan in accordance with Mr. Ragsdale's recommendations. We're in agreement with the amendments, as well as the deletion of the used tire sales prohibition. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the council.
Thank you, Mr. Bacchus. Colleagues, any questions? Mr. Bacchus, who inspects those used tires before they're sold to make sure that they're going to last a decent amount of time and not be a hazard to someone's safety?
Absolutely.
No, who? Who does that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Dickerson is going to monitor that situation. He's the business owner, proposed business owner. He is having, I believe, Tri-State to come and pick up these tires that are not being used, to have them taken off to be recycled. So he's doing it the proper way.
Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. Well, that's the question. And how many, is there a limit on how many tires, used tires, that will be prohibited on the property? Because we know the critical concern we have with tires. And we heard Vice Chair, she hates tires. And for her to allow this to happen, you must have an amazing plan. And I did see the renderings. But how many tires? Is there a limit of tires? I mean, we just don't need any more tires.
Well, he has the capacity to store about 200 tires. He has a container building that he'll store them out of sight, on site, and out of sight. So that's where we are. He also can store used tires on the inside. They have to be stored on the inside. They have to remain dry. It's dry storage. But it also has to be, the building itself has to be fire protected in the event of fire. So these things are very crucial. He cannot store them outside. They have to be inside. And his maximum capacity is 200.
Okay. Just, I know and just do right, please. Young man.
Yes, ma'am, I will. Oh, Dawson Dickerson, 3147 McGivney Street, owner of DMD's LLC, 1507 Airways Boulevard.
We're working very hard to keep our city clean, and we're working very hard, and I say we all together. And we want to make sure you are new with a new business, that you start off right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you,
I am
Councilman.
committed.
Mr. Ragsdale, is there any way to condition that? I was supportive of this case for car sales and car repair, but I can't support just a blanket approval of used tires.
Brett Ragsdale with DPD. I will say that one of the things that we do have, and Mr. Bach has mentioned, that outdoor storage is prohibited and no tires shall be stored outside. That will at least limit the number of tires that can be on site. We could try to condition the number of used. I think that it gets a little bit difficult to enforce. So we could, try to come up with some creative ways. I think with the limitations that we have, the used tires would not be a principal. Like we see a lot of used tire shops that's their primary, and there are a lot of tires. So we could certainly put a limit on the number of used tires that are stored there, and if it were to become an issue, then we could look to enforcement. So that's a possibility. Maybe we, instead of striking condition 3, used tire sales are prohibited, maybe we just put a limit on the number of used tires that can be stored on site. If he has a capacity of 200, whatever you would be comfortable with. 25% of that's 50 or something lower, or.
I'm going to let my colleagues speak on this. Councilwoman Logan, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Don't we have a tire ordinance that's in place right now? We put a tire ordinance in place, or the council voted on a tire ordinance during the blight task force. And it speaks directly to how many tires, what the tire regulation should be, how they should be stored, where they should be stored, how they should be marked and coded and all of that. So that regulates what he's asking.
I'm not sure if it would regulate the number of tires or the
It definitely
amount.
was on there. It was based on the size of the storage unit.
Okay.
And the lot size as well.
It may.
So I would say we need to go back and look at that and uphold the ordinance. Or put those as conditions.
Yep.
Can we do that?
Well, if it is an ordinance that's in place, it would already be something that could be enforced. And so I would need to look at the specifics of that to see.
Who's responsible for regulating that or for making certain that it's being done? Is it your office?
That is a good question. I'm not exactly sure, so I would have to look.
Is Chief Adams here? Okay.
I don't believe so.
Well, that's what we need to do. We have an ordinance in place that regulates that.
Can we just put it on hold, Chair, and then till we really look at the ordinance? Because I think this was your task force before we got on here. Because we want to make sure that we follow the guidelines and everybody respect the hard work. If the ordinance states that, we need to respect that.
I agree. Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
No outdoor storage, no more than 200 on the property.
If the requirement says that he has to have a container and all of the tires have to be inside, and the container only holds 200, well, it has a capacity of 200 tires, right?
Total, the container mixed with the indoor storage and the office part of the existing structure on the property. I have a tire change machine in there, and I have tires in there, and I have tires in the container, and I also have a small dry storage as well for other equipment and some tires. It's just like a little carport storage next to where the current container is, but I'm planning to relocate the container to abide by code.
If the tires have to be stored inside the container or inside the building, whether he has 52 tires or 100 tires, we wouldn't know it.
It's 200 max on the property. That's the ordinance. It's 200 max and they have to be indoor. So I'm just trying to abide by the ordinance.
Well, one thing about it, if they were following what the ordinance says, we wouldn't be having tires all over the city. I don't want to stifle him from opening up his business.
I'll tell you what. I'll do whatever the body wants to. If you want to forge ahead with a vote, I'm fine with that. I need more clarity to be comfortable with this because I'm not exactly sure what I'm allowing or what I'm voting for. Tires can get out of hand in a hurry, and that's a problem for me. It's a problem for a lot of our neighborhoods. So whatever y'all want to do, if you want to vote, we'll vote. But I'm not comfortable voting today.
Chair, neither am I.
Ford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. I kind of know this place. So whenever I drive, it's been about 3 or 4, 5 or 6 maybe different places. Okay? From beauty shop, and different things. Now, tie shop, I'm having a little issue with it. There's a street that's right by. How many homes are right in there? Can you tell me how many houses and who did y'all talk to? Because people live over there.
Yes, Councilman Ford, Brett Ragsdale with DBD. There are some houses just behind this, and we do have conditions that require a buffer for those homes. Jonathan, if I could get the screen up here. I don't know if you can see this, but on the screen, this is the subject property, and there are homes behind it. Our conditions do require a buffer between the residential and the commercial. But yes, there are homes along the Riley Alley and
on the way on down there on Airways, right from this particular property. There are a lot of houses over there, okay?
That's correct, yes.
Yes, I drive it all the time. I've always looked at that building, okay? Every time it closed, I wanted that building myself, but where it was, I did not try to get that particular building because people did not stay in there, okay? I drove by there the other day. There's trucks, other stuff that's in there already, okay? It's kind of an eyesore right this minute. I'm just being honest with you, okay? And then you want to sell, I don't have a problem with used cars. I kind of do, but with that building. But when it comes down to some tires, the average person that says something about tires, 2 months later, it's a disaster area. Okay? I think we need to hold this for a minute. Y'all may not want to do whatever you want, but I can't vote for it because, like I said, y'all need to go by and look, and then you got people live there. You know, we just got through talking about National Guard come in. What you trying to do, I bring them in and put them over there. I'm doing, thank you very much. I'm being serious now.
All right. Any objection to holding this item for, is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks? 2 weeks is our next meeting? Any objection to a hold? Okay, this item will be held. Madam Comptroller, please call item 6.
They didn't tell us when. They didn't tell us when.
October 7th.
Item number 6 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 9.6 of the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code approving a special use permit at the subject property located at 2279 Lamar Avenue. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. The case number is SUP 25-21.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. For item number 6, the Department of Planning and Development and Land Use Control Board recommended approval with conditions. This item was sent down with a favorable recommendation at the September 9th Planning and Zoning Committee meeting, and I so move.
6 was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Cooper Sutton. Seeing no members in the queue, anybody want to hear from DPD or the applicant? Very good. Members, please cast your votes for item 6. Hold the vote screen. I'm sorry. Don't release the screen. Mr. Red Wing, you want to speak on this item? Norman Red Wing.
She in the chair.
All right. You can release the.
Walk in the chair.
No.
There she goes. I got 7 now. Okay.
Who's the
I only have 6 on the floor. Here she comes. I did not help.
All right, he's back. We have 7. I think he would like to vote.
Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 7.
Item number 7 is an ordinance amending the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code adopted by the City of Memphis on August 10, 2010, and by Shelby County on August 9, 2010 as amended, to revise the zoning and subdivision regulations within the City of Memphis pertaining to social services institutions. Up for third and final reading, this ordinance is sponsored by Councilwomen Easter Thomas and Green. It was held from September 9th.
Councilwoman Dr. Easter Thomas, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. This item was meant to be withdrawn in executive committee.
All right. Sponsor has withdrawn item 7. Dr. Carnita Atwater.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Carnita Atwater, 1098 Firestone, Memphis, Tennessee. And I want to speak on this item, the Ordinance 5954. And I feel that this item is very misleading, intentional, insidious, and borderline on fraud. The reason I say that is because if you look at the caption, the top part of your agenda and the top part of the ordinance, it talks about the social service institutions. But when you read into the resolution or ordinance, it talks about detention centers, jails, and prisons. I've been keeping up with this ordinance about 3 months, and I find it appalling that you would present a ordinance stating social services institution when prison and jails are baked into the ordinance. Why? If it's the responsibility of Shelby County, I do not understand why the City Council is addressing this. Second, I hope that this is not a backdoor attempt to support a new jail to be erected in New Chicago. I hope that's not the case. Again, it's talking about detention centers, jails, and prisons. It is malfeasant and derelict of duty to mislead the community that you're supposed to represent. And that's why we find ourselves, Black communities, still in 2025 disinvested in underserved and marginalized communities, experiencing economic disparities and housing disparities. If this is the case, if this is addressed in a new jail that's going in New Chicago, we are prepared to go to the Supreme Court. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Atwater. Just to clarify, that item's been withdrawn, so there's not going to be any vote on it today or ever. Dr. Easter Thomas, you want to speak again?
Thank
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Dr. Atwater, for your comment. I just want to make sure I clarify, because I don't want any misinformation to be taken back to anybody. So this particular ordinance was brought forth because correctional facilities are under social service institutions in the planning document for our county. Also, when we do planning ordinances, most time they're joint with the city and the county, but if we do them without the county, they will just be applicable to the city. So this was in response to what the community was doing and what the community wanted. In no hand does District 7's representative do anything backhandedly or try to do anything under the radar or under the rug. This was in support of our community. But we're pulling it, we're drawing it and replacing it with another ordinance that we're holding because the caption changed. So we changed the title of the ordinance, and so that's why it's being withdrawn. But this is doing exactly what you asked for. Nothing is backhanded on this. I just wanted to clear that up because I didn't want that getting to anybody about misinformation on District 7. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Easter Thomas. Madam Comptroller, would you please take us to our consent agenda, items 8 through 13?
Item number 8 is a joint ordinance amending the 2021 Memphis and Shelby County Building Code so as to amend storm shelter requirements for educational buildings and add a new appendix relating to optional middle-scale housing construction requirements. Up for first reading, ordinance number 5955 is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. Item number 9 is a joint ordinance amending the 2021 Memphis and Shelby County Building Code so as to amend storm shelter requirements for educational buildings and optional middle-scale housing construction requirements. Up for first reading, ordinance number 5956 is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. Item number 10 is an ordinance amending the 2021 edition of the International Code Council International Fire Code, including certain appendices in that code and other local amendments, and amending Chapter 9-36 of the City of Memphis Code of Ordinances. Up for first reading, ordinance number 5957 is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. Item number 11 from our Engineering Division is a resolution approving the final plat for Area A, Lake Las Cruces Plan Development Phase 2, and accepting bond as security. There is a request for same night minutes. The contract number is CR-5482. Item number 12 is a resolution approving the engineering plans for Memphis School of Excellence and accepting bond as security. There is a request for same night minutes. The contract number is CR-5483. Item number 13 is a resolution approving supplemental agreement number 1 for Peachtree Development CR-5464. There's a request for same night minutes for all 3 of these items on the Engineering Division agenda. Also on our add-ons, we have item.
It's been held.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Well done. Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met. There was a favorable recommendation for all of these items, and I so move.
Consent agenda was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen. Councilwoman White.
Thank you for recognizing me, Chair. I'm going to be recusing from this for items number 8 and 9 as I'm special counsel for the County Commission.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Please note Councilwoman White as a recusal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll note that. Cooper Sutton, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White recused. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, we do have one item on fiscal consent. It's on our add-ons, item 49. Would you please call that?
Yes, thank you for your direction on that. Item number 49 is a resolution to amend the fiscal year 2026 operating budget, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Council Members Smiley, Swearingen, Washington, and Canale. There is a request to add on to our fiscal consent and same night minutes.
Madam Vice Chair, you recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met. There was a favorable recommendation for this item, and I so move.
It's still showing the consent. Can you move it to fiscal consent? There you go. All right, fiscal consent moved by Swearingen, Washington, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen. Members, please cast your votes.
Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. And Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Show Cooper Sutton as a yes.
Please show Cooper Sutton is voting yes on the fiscal consent item.
Madam Comptroller, please take us to our MLGW fiscal consent, items 14 through 19.
Item number 14 is a resolution approving renewal to contract number 10927, perpetual license agreement with Precisely Software Incorporated to increase the contract value in the funded amount of $290,354.55. Item number 15 is a resolution approving ratification of purchase order number 7061635 with MVA Power, Inc. for N75 kVA transformers in the amount of $33,246.14. Item number 16 is a resolution awarding contract number 12633, electric substations 36, 42, 45, 46, 64, and 71 roofs to B4 Applied, Inc. in the funded amount of $312,370.30. Item number 17 is a resolution approving change number 3 to contract number 12409, trash removal services to BFI Waste Services LLC, doing business as Republic Services of Memphis, to expand the scope of the current contract in the funded amount of $38,720.56. Item number 18 is a resolution approving extension to contract number 12060, DOT drug and alcohol testing with Mid-South Drug Testing Incorporated, to extend the current contract in the funded amount of $275,000. And our last item is number 19, a resolution awarding contract number 12584, MLGW Safety Boot Program to Tyndale Enterprises, Inc., in the funded amount of $342,000, Mr. Chairman.
Councilwoman Walker, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee met with a favorable recommendation, and I so move.
MLGW was moved electronically by Walker, seconded by Swearingen, Washington. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please take us back to our consent agenda. No need to reread it. You've read it into the record, but we did not have 7 votes in the affirmative, which means ordinances cannot move forward. So, colleagues, I'm going to ask for those of you that did not cast a vote on the consent agenda to cast a vote this time.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Consent agenda items 8 through 13. We have 1 recusal. I do need 7 votes to move those items forward. All right, you can go back to the voting screen. Okay.
There you go.
Cooper Sutton, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Chairman Canale, yes. And please show Easter Thomas as voting yes on the consent agenda.
White is a recusal, please.
White is a recusal, please.
Okay.
Madam Secretary.
We got that right that time. That item passes. Thank you, colleagues. Madam Comptroller, please take us to our regular agenda, starting with item 22.
Item number 22 is a resolution requesting the approval for the sale in the amount of $5,000 of a city-owned parcel located at 1801 La Paloma Street, Memphis, Shelby County, Tennessee, and further described as parcel ID 0600970003, District 4, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the administration.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met. It was a favorable recommendation, and I so move.
Item was moved by JSW, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen. Members, vote for item 22.
Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 23.
Item number 23 is a resolution to accept, allocate, and appropriate FY26 revenue up to the amount of $25,000 for funds received from participants in the Division of Housing and Community Development's Down Payment Assistance Program who did not meet the affordability criteria. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the administration.
Councilwoman Logan, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met, recommended approval, and I so move.
23 was moved by Logan, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, please take us to the voting screen.
Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 24.
Item number 24 is a resolution to appropriate $500,000 to CIP project IT 01001, desktop and application infrastructure. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the administration.
Councilwoman Green, you're recognized.
Committee met, recommended approval, and I so move.
24 was moved by Green. I need a second. Still need a second. Thank you. Seconded by Swearingen, Washington. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. White, yes. And Chairman Canale, yes. Walker, yes. Please show Councilmember Walker as voting yes on this item.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 25.
Item number 25 is a resolution to appropriate $500,000 to CIP project IT 01002, cybersecurity infrastructure upgrade. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the administration.
Councilwoman Green, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Committee met, recommended approval, and I so move.
25 was moved by Green, seconded by Swearingen, Washington. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
We're gonna do 26 first. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 26.
Item number 26 is a resolution to appropriate $2 million to CIP Project IT 01004 Implementation Modernization. All council districts, this resolution is sponsored by the administration.
Councilwoman Green, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met and recommended approval, and I so moved. I was trying to tell you that. Mayor.
26 moved by Green, seconded by Swearingen Washington. Please take us to the voting screen.
Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 27.
Item number 27 is a resolution recommending and authorizing the purchase of 7135 Goodlet Farms Parkway, Cordova, Shelby County, Tennessee, to establish a multifunctional control room for and in consideration for an amount not to exceed $31,400,000. All council districts, this resolution is sponsored by MLGW.
Please show Cooper Sutton as a yes on 26.
Thank you. We certainly will show that.
Councilwoman Walker, you are recognized.
The committee met with a favorable recommendation, and I so move.
27 was moved by Walker, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes. Thank you. Please show Cooper Sutton is voting yes on this item.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please. Hold on. 27 was supposed to have same night minutes. Did you have that in the record?
No, but I'll be glad to amend it and say for same night minutes, sir. Please show item number 27 for same night minutes.
That was voted on in committee.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Please call item 28.
Item number 28 is a resolution to approve the appropriation of funds of $1,200,000 for FY26 CIP Audubon Park Splash Pad, project number PK04021, contract construction, District 5, Super District 9. This resolution is sponsored by the administration.
Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, you're recognized.
The committee met. I recommend approval. I so move.
28 was moved electronically, please. Councilwoman? On the computer?
Oh.
Hit the button. There you go. Okay. We're good.
There you go.
Moved by Cooper Sutton, seconded by Swearingen Washington. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen for 28.
Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 29.
Item number 29 is is a resolution to appropriate $500,000 in tennis major maintenance, FY26 CIP project number PK03004, contract construction, District 4, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the administration.
Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, you're recognized.
The committee met and recommended approval. I so move.
Very good.
Thank you.
Item was moved by Cooper Sutton, seconded by Swearingen Washington. Seeing no members in the queue, takes to the voting screen. 29.
Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Please show Councilmember White as voting yes on this item also, and Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Please take us to item 30.
Item number 30 is a resolution to approve the appropriation of funds of $1,500,000 for Wolf River Greenway Phases 3 and 5C FY 2026 CIP project number PK07127, contract construction and architecture engineering, Districts 2 and 7, Super Districts 8 and 9. This resolution is sponsored by the administration.
Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, you're recognized.
The committee met and I recommend approval. I so move. Did I say it right this time?
You know, it's close enough.
Thank you.
Item 30 was moved electronically by Cooper Sutton, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen for 30.
Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. And Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please take us to item 31.
Item number 31 is a resolution to approve the appropriation of funds of $250,000 for Memphis Zoo FY 2026 CIP project number PK09002, contract construction, District 6, Super District 9. This resolution is sponsored by the administration.
Councilwoman Cooper Sutton.
The committee met, recommended approval. I so move.
Item 31 was moved by Cooper Sutton, seconded by Swearingen Washington. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. And Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Please take us to item 32.
Item number 32 in our Division of Solid Waste is a resolution to allocate $15,000 annually for 5 years from Solid Waste Community Funds to Clean Memphis, Inc., nonprofit agency, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the administration, and this was held from September 9th.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met. There was a favorable recommendation for this item, and I so move.
32 was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter, Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please take us to our add-ons, starting with item 35.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 35 is a resolution to appropriate the sum of $400,000 in other costs funded by GeoBonds General to continue the implementation of the Urban Art Plan and transferring funds from EN 24300 to EN 26301, chargeable to FY 2026 Capital Improvement Project. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the administration. There is a request for same night minutes.
Councilwoman Cooper Sutton.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met, recommended approval. I so move.
35 was moved by Cooper Sutton, seconded by Easter Thomas. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter, Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Please call item 36.
36 is a resolution appropriating capital improvement plan funds in the amount of $600,000 for additional project costs of governmental infrastructure in connection with the Peachtree Senior Development Award 11426, Project CC 23105, District 7, Super District 8, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the administration. There is a request for same night minutes.
Councilwoman Logan, coming to you.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met, recommended approval, and I so move.
36 was moved by Logan, seconded by Easter Thomas. Did you want to speak on this item, Councilwoman?
No.
All right, take us to the voting screen, please. Oh, Councilwoman Easter Thomas, you're recognized. Hold the vote.
Thank you, Chair. I do. I wasn't there when it was in committee, but surprisingly, the first place that me, my mom, and my dad stayed at was Peachtree Apartments. And then she was a veteran, so she was able to get a home in Fraser in the Georgian Hills area. But I distinctively remember Peachtree across from there in Fraser High School. So to see that it's going to be able to be redone for seniors and then also coming alongside a brand new high school is just good to know and good to see. So that's all, Chair. I just wanted to express my gratitude for the folks who are doing this work.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Logan, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. So I guess I do. I just want to commend Rashawn and the works for this project. Based on, the renderings that I've seen, it's going to be a quality program, and we do appreciate her and the works for taking that step in this area and making that a really nice project. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Madam Comptroller, please take us, there we go. Members, please cast your votes for 36.
Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter, Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Please take us to item 37.
Item number 37 is a resolution appropriating FY 26 allocations in the amount of $1,200,000 in CIP project number GS041049, Coke Facility Adaptive Reuse, District 4, Super District 8, This resolution is sponsored by the administration. There is a request for same-night minutes.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
The committee met, there was a favorable recommendation, and I so move.
37 was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Easter Thomas. Seeing the members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen. Members, please cast your votes.
Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Please call item 38.
Item number 38 is a resolution appropriating FY26 allocations in the amount of $300,000 in CIP project number GS20170, 170 North Main modifications, District 7, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the administration. There is a request for same-night minutes.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met, there was a favorable recommendation, and I so move.
38 was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 39.
39 is a resolution appropriating FY26 allocations in the amount of $2,500,000 in CIP project number GS22202, City Hall improvements for replacement chillers, Phase 2 Civic Center Plaza site improvements, and Phase 2 City Hall penthouse replacement roof. District 7, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the administration. There is a request for same-night minutes.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met, there was a favorable recommendation, and I so move. And Director Jameson, I know this is general services improvements, and we appreciate the leadership that you're taking with the power washing outside the building and inside. So thank you so much for your leadership. We appreciate it. And I so move, Chair.
All right, 39 was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Green. Members, please cast your votes for 39.
Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Please call item 40.
Item 40, Mr. Chairman, is a resolution authorizing the purchase of vehicles different from those identified in the FY26 Capital Improvement Program budget ordinance, but more in line with current needs and market availability, not to exceed $10 million. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the administration. There is a request for same-night minutes.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
The committee met, and we're excited about the purchase of these vehicles. There was a favorable recommendation, and I so move.
40 was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, please take us to the voting screen.
Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Please show Council Member Jerry Green is voting yes, and Chairman Canale, yes.
Councilwoman White, would you like to cast a vote? Show White as a yes, please.
Show White as a yes on this item, please, number 40.
40 passes. Thank you. Please call item 41.
Item number 41 is a resolution to transfer and appropriate contract construction funds in the amount of $8,527,003 from Drainage ST Coverline Project number ST 03205 to Bartlett Road Fletcher ST Project number ST 01089 for bridge replacement, District 1, Super District 9. This resolution is sponsored by the administration. Again, that was $8,527.03.
Madam Vice Chair, you recognize.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met. There was a favorable recommendation for this bridge replacement, and I so move.
41 was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, please take us. Members, please cast your votes.
Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Please call item 42.
Item number 42 is a resolution appropriating $136,080 in GO bonds for capital improvement project FS02032 EMA sirens, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the administration. There is a request for same night minute.
Councilwoman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. The committee met and recommended approval, and I so move.
42 was moved by White, seconded by Green. Seeing the members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Please call item 43.
Item number 43 is a resolution appropriating $1,300,000 in GO bonds for capital improvement project FS04012, personal protective equipment for turnout ensemble, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the administration. There is a request for same night minutes for item 43.
Councilwoman White, recognized.
The committee met and recommended approval, and I so move.
43 was moved by White, seconded by Green. Seeing the members in the queue, please take us to the voting screen.
Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Please call item 44.
Item number 44 is a resolution to transfer contract construction allocation of $108,900 from Fire Station Improvement Cover Line Project number FS24100 and appropriate funds to contract construction cost for Fire Station 38 renovations project number FS25005, District 6, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the administration. There is a request for same night minutes.
Councilwoman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. The committee met and recommended approval, and I so move.
44 was moved by White, seconded by Swearingen Washington. Seeing the members in the queue, members, please cast your votes for 44.
Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Please call item 45.
Item number 45 is a resolution to accept and appropriate grant funding in the amount of $338,198 $1,056.87 from the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency's Hazard Mitigation Grant Program to be used to purchase software for an emergency mass notification system. All council districts, this resolution is sponsored by the administration. There is a request for same night minutes.
Councilwoman White.
Thank you, Chairman. The committee met and recommended approval, and I so move.
45 was moved by White, seconded by Swearingen Washington. Seeing the members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. And Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please take us to item 47.
Item number 47 is a resolution of the Memphis City Council supporting the development of a zero-fare transit pilot and encouraging the creation of a ridership tracking system by the Memphis Area Transit Authority. All council districts, this resolution is sponsored by Councilwoman White, and there is a request for same night minutes.
Madam Vice Chair, you recognized. Oh, hold on one second. Madam Comptroller, maybe worth noting for the record, that was a friendly amendment offered in executive that was accepted by the sponsor.
Thank you.
Madam Vice Chair, you recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met. There was a favorable recommendation, and I so move.
47 was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Green.
As amended.
As amended. Seeing the members in the queue, please take us to the voting screen.
Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale.
And I think it's maybe noted for the record that Councilwoman White was certainly the sponsor, but I believe all of the council wanted to sign on with her on 47.
Yes, thank you.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call 48. And for the record, 48 was also amended in executive. An amendment was made by Councilwoman Dr. Easter Thomas, accepted by the sponsor, Councilman Smiley. Again, I believe this resolution was signed onto by all members of the City Council.
Mr. Chairman, item number 48 is a resolution to amend the City Council Community Grant Program for FY26. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the Memphis City Council, and there is a request for same night minutes.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met. There was a favorable recommendation, and I so move.
48 was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Green. Seeing the members in the queue, please cast your vote for 48.
Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Please show Councilmember Logan as voting yes on this item. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Colleagues, this brings us to the end of our agenda. I believe the Vice Chair has our same night minute items ready. Staff, we have a lot of them tonight, so as she reads them off, I want to double check that we have everything correct for our same night minute items. Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The same night minute items are items 4, 11, 12, 13, 27, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, and 49. And I so move.
We're all good for special item 1. Staff, we got them all called into the record. Okay. Same night minutes moved by the Vice Chair, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, please cast your votes for same night minutes.
Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Okay, this brings us to the end of our agenda where we will now accept public comments. First is Iris Mercado. Iris Mercado. No. David Maxson. No. Sarah Guessam. No. Adrian Kirk. Cassandra Fong.
Hi, my name is Cassandra Fawn, 2639 Central Avenue, apartment Q4. You'll notice probably tonight that most of the agenda items that are signed up for item 34 are no longer here. And I just wanted to speak because I spoke at County Commission last night, and I heard many of the same arguments then as I heard here. And I wanted to address those. I've heard a lot tonight about, my constituents are worried about crime as it relates to the National Guard. And that's why I think we should call the National Guard in. It is your job as elected representatives, when your constituents have a patently suicidal idea, to get in front of a camera and say, hey, let's not form a suicide pact with a city of 1.2 million people. That is exactly what calling in the National Guard would be doing. The Donald Trump administration has been nakedly hostile towards the city council, towards the county commission, and the city council and county commission are both rolling over, playing dead, and that is completely suicidal, not just for your constituents, but for you as politicians, because world history is watching Memphis, Tennessee right now, and will be watching for the next 100 years. And I want to leave by asking a rhetorical question. How are Nazi collaborators viewed in Europe today, nearly 100 years later? That is exactly the situation that we are in right now, and that is exactly how history will remember all of us who did nothing.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Trinity Williams, Angeles Mendez, Rosemary Winters, Kyra Macklin, Emmeline Rogers,
Emmeline Rogers, 670 West Drive, 38112. When people walk into our libraries, they see how you believe they should be treated. The conditions of our facilities, resources, and intentionally diminished staff reflects what you believe the people of our city deserve. It is an egregious breach of trust for you to sit here and proclaim that you understand what this city needs in order to pacify those who spoke before me, while you actively defund the system set in place to deliver resources to every citizen. We are your hand. As evidenced in the recent months, what we are able to do is not enough to serve and maintain our communities. There are only so many times a library worker can take the clothes off their own back to wrap around someone in great need, as I have witnessed them do. We are afraid of the unspoken yet merciless restrictions that threaten our jobs. We are afraid of failing our city, and we will have no choice but to do so if you persist in ignoring our pleas to stand by your grandstanding and remember that you already have a system in place designed to protect our citizens. prove what Memphis stands for. Stand with the libraries, stand with the library workers. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers. Heather Isle.
Hi, Heather Issel, 2934 Billy Cross Drive, Germantown, Tennessee, 38138. I've worked as a children's librarian at Benjamin L. Hooks for 2 years. Today I'm speaking as a representative of Memphis Public Libraries Workers United, and I'm urging the council to support reclassifying library workers from political appointees to civil service while preserving our benefits and seniority and without forcing us through a rehiring process, whatever route that takes. This is a simple, achievable change the city can make without disrupting our benefits or years of service. We're not asking for anything special, just to be treated like the rest of our coworkers across most of the city government. There's no valid reason for library workers to be some of the only public servants excluded from civil service. At this time in our city and country, it is more important than ever to invest in stable public institutions that are free, accessible, and democratic, as well as protect the rights of working people to bargain for their pay and working conditions. Reclassification and recognition of our union, Memphis Public Libraries Workers United, would ensure stability, fairness, and consistency. Most importantly, would show that city leadership respects the people who are on the front lines doing this work every day. Let's bring library workers into the city of Memphis fold. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. LaMichael Wilson.
Good evening, LaMichael Wilson, 936 Kelly Circle, Memphis, Tennessee, 38111. 2 weeks ago, I stood before you and told you how hurt I was over the situation with the police taking my mother's cell phone and taking pictures of her deceased body. I told you at that time I was hurt. Today, I stand before you to tell you how humiliated I am. Humiliated that I have to facilitate questions from individuals from across the world who have seen a video of the situation that I have to endure, that nobody should have to endure. And I still ask you, as J.B. Smiley talked about justice, I ask you to do justice. And part of that justice is to ensure that there's a policy in place with the Memphis Police Department that they take no victims' electronic devices and take unauthorized pictures of it. So I'm going to keep coming back here until I see something done different than what I have to experience. I need it here, I need it at the state, but I need something done because this is totally egregious. Totally egregious. And as I stand here right now, not one person from the city has ever reached out to me. Not one person has ever reached out to me. The most that I have gotten is from you, Mr. Chairman, 2 weeks ago when you extended your condolences, but no one from the city has reached out to me. As much as I know these people and run in this circle, the fact that you would leave me out here like this, I can't swallow it. It's nasty, it's distasteful, it's egregious. Nobody should have to deal with that. The fact that I looked at my mom's phone and saw her body with EMT electrode pads on her, it's egregious. Do better.
Mr. Wilson, again, I'm very sorry, and I'm sorry as well that I thought that someone after the last meeting from MPD was going to reach you. Okay, I'm going to make sure that someone from MPD reaches out to you. Do you have, is this a good number to reach you that you've written on your, okay. Again, I'm very sorry.
I've reached out to everyone. I have been ignored. I have now got fabricated documents. I've had things, I've been told that they're not going to give me stuff. They've given me stuff where the information about my mother is completely inaccurate. They have not even redacted the information. They've just taken the information off and given it to me.
I'm very sorry.
And I didn't play with my mother when she was alive, and I'm not going to play with her in death.
I understand.
Y'all get it together.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Councilwoman Green?
Sir, I'm having give you my card. My cell number's on the back. If you'll please call me, I'll make sure that we can work together on trying to get the policy changed. I'm very sorry for your loss, and I know we can't undo what has happened, but I appreciate that you want to improve the policy, and I will do my best to work with you to get that changed. Thank you.
Janetta Williams.
I'm Janetta Williams, 711 South Dudley Street, Memphis, Tennessee, 38104. I want to identify that one of our council members used to deliberate with Ms. Glenda Pierce on making sure vendors registered as a MBE, a WBE, and a LOSBE. Though those certifications has been suspended indefinitely, we are still here, okay? Some of us listened to what he had to say and followed his word and his hard work. Some of us took technical assistance class offered by our county for free for 12 weeks, teaching businesses how to be, become, and build better businesses. The brand A Career Girl led the class, a class full of like-minded individuals, luxury portable restrooms, LinkedIn and resume and insurance specialists, cleaning services and other record service and IT techs. When Ms. Glenda Pierce entered the room, there was a moment that we all was waiting for. She gave us guidelines and instructions of how to bid on county contracts. That same knowledge that was gained can be utilized to submit bids for the city contracts. As I received an invitation from Beacon 6 days before the bid was to be submitted, learning that I wasn't invited so I couldn't access the submission point, I gathered what I had and spoke with the person that was over the IQ. As I worked as a wife and mother of 9 children, 8 in the household, we don't have large amounts of money sitting around. So a bid, bond, or a cashier's check was far from our reach. Not only that RFQ did outline that record companies had to offer A, B, and C class record services, I want to acknowledge that Paul and Crew still submitted a bid offering exceptional Class A service. As I suggested before, to suspend the current bidding process for record services and instead adopt a more transparent, consistent, and fair approach by creating a City of Memphis record rotation list, a standardized City of Memphis rate card.
Ms. Williams, if you could wrap it up.
Yes, sir. Rather than continue to issue new bids for the same type of work every year, I propose expanding and formalizing the existing MPD rotation system citywide. This would allow for faster response time, reduce administrative burdens, and ensure that every qualified company has a fair and equal access to city work. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Ms. Williams? Ms. Williams, did you email that information to all of us? Okay, thank you. Dr. Georgia Session. William Foner.
Good evening, council members. My name is William Foner. I currently live on 215 Bunton Street, Memphis, Tennessee, 38111. Councilman Spinoza represents my district, but soon I will be moving to Councilwoman Green's district. I am a volunteer at the Memphis Public Libraries, and I shelve and sort books in the basement of the Benjamin L. Hook Central Library Branch, and assist Memphians purchasing books at the seasonal book sales. Besides volunteering for the libraries, I advocate for libraries as respectable public institutions of reading and education, and in doing so, I usually check out books from my local branch and utilize the resources at the library, just like hundreds of other Memphians do on a daily basis. It goes without saying, I'm very appreciative of what our friendly librarians and library workers do, and they should be recognized as the public servants that they truly are. It is the right thing to support the Memphis library workers and the members of the MPL Workers United who are voting for a union and are demanding that they rightfully earn the same rights and benefits as all city employees. The library workers are public servants and are not political appointees. Therefore, council members, please recognize the library workers, their fight for a union, and please ensure their demands to receive just and fair compensation, pay, and benefits are rightfully met. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Foner. Nicolas Nibley.
Good evening, council members. How's everyone doing this evening? I come to address a situation that I've ran into with dealing with the mayor and his threatening to get rid of our MOUs in the city. I asked to have a meeting with the mayor myself. He declined. Us as an association of unions went to the mayor. He agreed to a meeting for 30 minutes. But then the Friday before, he canceled on us. Okay, so the thing is, we, the people, chose to be represented. So we don't agree that the city or the mayor should have the right to just arbitrarily do away with the city workers' rights to be represented. We've already had a situation back in June, which our members were very disappointed in us, where we spent 3 months negotiating. And then at the end of negotiating, once it's approved, we got told, you know what? We said we was gonna give it to you, but that's okay. We're just gonna give you what we want to give you. And essentially, that's what's gonna happen if the mayor, with this lawsuit, ends the MOUs. We're asking for you to tell the mayor to withdraw that lawsuit that will void all the city's MOUs. Our people that we represent, which many of them here tonight, do not want their MOUs touched, and they want to be represented. I stand with the library workers. All they're asking is to be represented. I don't know what the problem is that they cannot be represented. But I close with this. I've come to y'all for many asks, and sometimes I don't always win. But this is not an ask, this is a need. Our people want to be represented. They want to be able to represent it, and we do not want our city to follow the suit of Washington, D.C., like they did the unionized governmental workers there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nibley. Christopher Glasgow.
Good evening. Christopher Glasgow, 1059 Duomo Cove, Cordova, Tennessee, 38018. In a city as vibrant and diverse as Memphis, collaboration is the key to progress. That's where MOUs play a crucial role. And an MOU isn't just a document, it's a handshake on paper, a formal agreement that outlines the shared goals, responsibilities, and expectations between organizations, agencies, and community partners. Whether it's the Memphis Police Department working with community groups or local schools partnering with nonprofits, MOUs create clarity and accountability. In Memphis, where challenges like economic inequalities, public safety, and education require joint solution, MOUs help break down silos. They make sure everyone is on the same page, working with transparency and purpose. They build trust, not just between institutions, but with the public we serve. MOUs don't have the legal weight of contracts, but they carry the power of commitment. They move plans from conversations to collaborations. If we want to continue moving Memphis forward, we must keep forging smart and strategic partnerships. And MOUs are one of the strongest tools we have to do that, making sure we're just not working hard, but working together. Thank you. Local 3806.
Thank you, sir. Wade Boswell.
Hi, my name is Wade Boswell, 1870 Madison Avenue, 38104. I'm here, I represent the City of Memphis 911 dispatchers with CWA Local 3806. In 2006, we started representing the dispatchers. We've done that ever since then. Every year, we follow the process that's laid out by the city. The impasse, we come before this council every year that we negotiate those MOUs. We accept what the city council does. They either vote for the union or they vote for the city. This year, that's all's changed. We come up here, city council, this very city council, voted in favor of our impasse. And then the mayor comes down and one fell swoop destroys that trust that we had in this process. And we are here to encourage the city council to speak with the mayor and have him speak with the unions that we may rebuild that trust in the city of Memphis. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Brianna Bird.
Hey, Brianna Bird, 720 Loeb Street. Once again, I'm up here representing the Memphis Mid-South chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America and speaking in support of the working class. Labor organizing has a proud history in Memphis. Unions have led the fight for workers' rights and civil liberties in this country, and there's no better example than the 1968 Memphis sanitation workers' strike that changed the course of the civil rights movement. But labor organizing in Memphis has also had a dark history. It's a history that many have forgotten and that we now risk sliding back into. For decades before the civil rights movement, Boss Crump and the corrupt politicians of this city colluded with the Ku Klux Klan to threaten, intimidate, attack, and even lynch anyone involved with organizing black workers. Thankfully, our city's public sector unions now protect all workers, regardless of race, helping so many working people can provide for their families. Yet today, we must ask ourselves, is City Hall rejecting the victories of the multiracial labor movement? Why would anyone try to bring back Boss Crump's white supremacist union-busting tactics? We're at a crossroads in our city's history. In a totally reactionary move, city officials are looking to invalidate all existing agreements with public sector unions. Not only does this disgrace our city's proud history of working class organizing, it exposes a dangerous ignorance of past oppression. This comes at a time when Memphis public library workers are organizing for the workplace safeguards and job protections that, frankly, they should already have. Public libraries are a pillar of learning and community, and we have the duty to protect the people who keep them running. So we call on Mayor Young to drop his legal crusade against city unions. We also call on the city council to reclassify our library workers appropriately as civil servants, and on Mayor Young to issue an executive order allowing the Library Workers United to collectively bargain. As we find ourselves facing federal occupation at the center of history in the making, we must now decide which side of history we stand on. Are you with working class families and the black freedom struggle, or are you with the bosses, the billionaires, and the white supremacist union busters? It's time to choose. Which side are you on? Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Cameron Stevens.
Good afternoon, City Council members. My name is Cameron Stevens, and I reside at 878 Willow Tree Circle, 38018. I'm a business agent for the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 369. You may know it as the IUOE. We've been working with the City of Memphis representing its employees for around 50 years. We have 4 MOUs with the City of Memphis: the Animal Shelter MOU, Construction Inspectors MOU, Heavy Equipment Operators MOU, treatment plants, sewer lift stations, flood control facilities, pollution control, hydrovac operators, and sewer environment MOUs. The jobs these members perform are not glamorous. They're often the thankless, dirty, back-breaking jobs that support this city's main infrastructure. With the recent reports and headlines being published by the local media of the City of Memphis mayor pushing to invalidate all MOUs in the city, this sparked a lot of concern coming from our membership, causing our members to worry not only about their future as city employees, but also where their families are going to lie when their benefits are stripped away. We hope to move forward and continue to work with the city for the betterment of its employees' wages, benefits, working conditions, as we have for the last 50 years, to provide a better life not only for themselves, but also for their families. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Elizabeth Dyerson. Denise Yule.
Of course, I'm not ready. Sorry. Okay, hi, my name is Denise Ewell. I live at 2939 Bartlett Crest Drive, Bartlett, Tennessee, 38134. I am a children's librarian at the Central Library. And at this moment, amid swirling policies and split realities, our library workers are not safe. Is there a reason this city council has not met with us or spoken out in support of our right to represent ourselves in a union of our peers, a right that is currently being threatened in this city with our rich and powerful union legacy? Okay. Is there a reason our issues have not been put on the committee agenda? Is there a reason, what representation do we have among you, our elected officials? That's all I have.
Thank you for your comments. Lisa Peterson.
Hi, my name is Lisa Peterson. I live at 5012 Newcastle Road. I work at the South Branch Library and have for just about 4 years. It's a job that I love. I love working with our communities. But without civil service and union representation, library staff don't have the same rights and protections as other City of Memphis divisions. We are living in a time where organizations like the American Library Association and the Every Library Institute are regularly sounding the alarm regarding attacks on libraries throughout the country. What Memphis library workers need in order to be able to best serve our communities is protection and security, not this unnerving knowledge that we would have no recourse if a current or future mayor decided to eliminate any or all library positions because our appointed status precludes us from taking concerns or complaints to the Civil Service Commission. City Council has the power to help us change this. By facilitating the process of reclassifying library workers as civil service, you can build a library division that fully reflects the honor, integrity, and dignity of city service, giving us the protections that will survive administration to administration. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Samara Solomon.
Hello, Samara Solomon, 1186 Ascend Drive, Memphis, Tennessee. Library workers have the respect of our community. We are trusted advocates who connect our neighborhoods with the resources they need. But do we have the respect of our city council? So far, no council member has taken real steps to help us change our status or spoken out in support of our right to collectively bargain, and we still have not received so have not been added to a committee agenda to discuss our need for civil service protections and bargaining rights. When our concerns are finally taken up in council, and when this council speaks out in support of all organized labor's bargaining rights in Memphis, then we will know that our work is not only honored by our communities, but is respected by our city's leadership. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Alexis Agnew.
Hello, Alexis Agnew, 4321 E-Lane. The TLDR version of this is I support the library's right to unionize, and I want to express my disappointment at the failing of Resolution 34. So on the positives, we have all the support here from the CWA and other unions. Love that. The not so positives are that this was the time to show courage, not fear. I do understand why the resolution was voted down. I understand that some of you may have felt scared. To those of you who supported the resolution, thank you, we see you. But to those of you who rejected it, maybe because you likely thought this would keep the president off your backs, or you were scared of what would happen if you voted against your party. Heck, you might even have supported the National Guard coming. Out of a misplaced sense of law and order. I understand that, and I just have bad news. It doesn't work. Kowtowing to a dictator never works. I don't know. I had a schoolyard bully. I don't know if any of you did. And, the way that works is you give your lunch money to the bully, and the next day they come back and they want more. And then the next day they want your money and they want your friend's money too. So, yeah, that's just kind of how these things tend to go. It doesn't ever work to give in. They take a little at a time, and then more, and then more, and then more. But there is an opportunity to redeem yourself, in my opinion anyway. And what's it worth? I'm just some citizen. I am not part of the library. That's why I continue to come up here every time, because I want you to know that this is not a partisan issue. This is not an issue of people who work for the library. As a normal citizen, I support their right to unionize. I think you should too. They're civil servants who deserve to be empowered. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. Josh Adams.
Josh Adams, Decarceration Memphis, 1000 South Cooper Street. One of the city council people asked where we have been in the movement out in the streets. I was a mentor. I was a substitute teacher. And at the same time, I was doing local and national policy work. I was also doing brake light cleaning changes for many, brake light changes for many elderly folks. One time at Rhonda Logan's church, and was canvassing from Michael and Easter Thomas's seat. At the same time, I worked at Memphis Public Libraries. And during that time, during the Strickland administration, we were also under the Trump administration, and we're also under the Bill Lee administration, and a lot of those people really hinged their work on misinformation. And we were worried at the library about whether or not we could run certain programs that talked about certain movements. One thing that protects workers is the civil service protection, especially when they're worried about their First Amendment rights being under attack, especially when they're worried about their jobs being under attack from administrations under Jim Strickland. He changed one of the Pink Palace's libraries, one of the Pink Palace Museum's monuments that represented a movement so that his name could be moved forward as a figure in that movement, rather than Tammy Sawyer, who actually led the movement, the Take Them Down 901 movement. And so when administrations act that way and administrations change, many of you all are term limited. There's going to be a new administration soon, right? And so the question is, how are workers going to be protected, right? Especially their First Amendment rights, as you all are laying out a red carpet for fascism. How are workers' rights going to be protected without civil service protection? And you all have that power. They should have had a meeting. Some folks I texted about this years ago. They should have had a meeting, should be on the agenda. Something needs to be done. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. James Wall. Samuel Schaefer.
(833) Maury Street, 38107. Good evening, council members. I am a proud history teacher at East High School in Memphis Shelby County Schools. I am also a proud union member. Each day after school, a large number of my students head across East Park to the Benjamin L. Hook Central Library, a place that is safe and welcoming, where they can continue to advance their education or just take a break after a long, hard day. My students rely on our libraries and our schools. Both of these institutions are made what they are by public sector workers. I am here today to ask this council to demonstrate real, tangible support for public sector workers who make this possible, especially our right to organize, like our city's library workers are attempting to do. Public sector work is a calling, and as a teacher, I know that when you do this kind of work, people bring their whole lives with them into the public spaces we maintain. We are on the front lines of helping people, whether that's a fireman responding to a car crash, a teacher being there for a student in trouble, or a library worker helping someone who has nowhere else to go for some peace, quiet, reading, internet access, or maybe just some air conditioning. We work long hours for modest pay because we love our communities. To make our jobs sustainable, we need a voice in our professions, which we accomplish through legally binding memorandums of understanding. Right now, this right is under threat from our city's political leadership. I have heard this council call for greater material support for our communities, so I want to ask you directly, why not reclassify our library workers as civil servants and support their right to organize? Why not put it on the agenda for your next meeting? This is the right thing to do, and it's the right way to make our city stronger. And also, you need to make sure we stand up to our mayor and protect all public sector workers' right to negotiate in good faith and have legally binding memorandums of understanding. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Caroline Francisco.
Good evening, Council. Caroline Francisco, 1000 South Cooper Street. I'm grateful to see so many of our union brothers and sisters here in the room today, and so I'm here in solidarity with them and with all the workers in our city to make sure that this council continues to honor the MOUs of our public sector workers, as well as honor the library workers' request to reclassify and put them on the next agenda. I've heard several times from this council today a concern for the seniors of our city, right? A genuine concern to make sure our elders are food secure, are housed and fed. I'm so glad to hear that concern in the room. And so the surest way to actually make good on that promise is to make sure that Memphians have access to high quality union jobs that allow them to feed their families, and to make sure that every Memphian has access to the high quality public services that actually keep people safe. Our sanitation workers, our firefighters, our librarians, the workers doing construction and flood control, these are the people on the front lines saving lives every day. And when we invest in them, we're investing in our whole city. The idea that the mayor could disappear over half a century of civil rights progress with a single suit is not only disrespectful to the thousands of Black workers who fought tooth and nail for those rights and protections, but it would be a disservice to every Memphian. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Colleagues, that brings us to the end of our public comments. Staff, colleagues, thank you for your time today and your service. I have great respect and appreciation for